What's going on, everybody, and welcome to day one of Launchpad #1 here, where we have got multiple high-level teams fighting to compete in the second season of the North American Strikers League. My name is Gordo. I'm joined by Liari today, and
Hi.
Liari, we're going to be getting into match #1 here before too long, where the Bozo Bunch are going to be taking on the Pumpkin Patchers.
Excited for this. We get to see Fem Bison, fellow caster, Drop Leto, Omega forward, and not too sure about too much of the other team. I've seen Carly Pumpkin in Twitch chats before. I know they're trying to improve, and I'm excited to see how they do today.
Yeah, no, going to be our. So these guys come on in as what exactly is our seeding here? Uh, Seed number 4 for the Bozo Bunch and seed number 13 for the Pumpkin Patchers. Going to Imy's app to start things off as we are already getting on to the field for game #1.
Well, Imi's app always a big Rasmus map. I'm excited. Drop Leto's are, like I said, they're Omega forward, and I think he can definitely have a big impact on this game, already hovering the Rasmus.
Yeah, definitely. So, going to be some alternative names from what we saw here. You said so. I is Gret on the registration. You said, sorry, you were giving me before we started what their preferred name is.
Yeah, they usually go by Muncher.
Muncher. All right, we got Muncher, Drop Leto, and Fem Bison coming on in for our first match. This is Swiss format, so we are just going to be playing best of ones here for our first couple of rounds. Teams are fighting to get to a record of 2-2 or better to make it into the bracket stage and qualify themselves for the next event.
Yeah, they definitely don't want to end up at 2-2 because they could end up in a losers bracket that way, but it's nice that only really 6 teams end up getting eliminated here.
Yeah, so 17 teams coming into qualifier #1, fighting to get their way into liftoff. But first, got to get themselves into the bracket stage, and it's all going to start right here as we are starting things off. Drop Leto immediately going to find a goal barrier with a nice bell ringer there and just try to get things in nice and early.
Exactly what the X wants. He wants to hit level 2, he wants to be able to scale.
For sure, so playing up and forward here. Carly so far has done a nice job of keeping these cleared out and is going to be an open goal from both sides. Evian maybe with a little bit of an opportunity there, trying to find their way towards the goal, but not going to be able to work it on past Evian quite yet. Is going to be Drop Leto up on the top side. He has hit that crucial level 2, so Drop Leto taking full advantage of their opportunity. Pass up and right into the goal there to get an early lead here to the Bozo Bunch.
Great strike war win by Muncher, and what you're really going to want to see this game is the Juno era winning core control. They're both midfielders, they both have core control. It's going to be harder for them to score though, and actually finish the goal up.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, Julie nerfs have gotten us to the point now where only one real, true brawler going to be out here in the form of that X for Drop Leto. And we'll see how big of a difference it ends up making. As you said, that core control going to be so very valuable for what they've got, but not going to be bringing out too much damage and not really going to have a lot of ways to move around the X. That was a great pass there, very nearly getting it in with the Bewitching Beam, but they go in with the core flip nonetheless.
Yeah, and Drop Leto still has the core flip. They're already on game point for their set point, and we'll see if he can make that count.
That's what it's all going to come down to here. Moving on down, immediately trying to take control over the core, going to move it on past Evian. Drop Leto coming on down. Still not going to quite be able to knock anybody out of the way, but the Magical Maelstrom going to clear out some space, but still going to sneak past Fem Bison and be able to open on up that goal. A nice core flip from Drop Leto, though, stops the shot in its tracks, and now is going to be able to move forward on towards the right side of the map. Evian, though, keeping good control. The Bewitching Beam boosting him up, going to be knocked right back on down. Now Awakened Shrub with sole possession up on the top side, looking to move in, but Fem Bison not even really having to do too much so far. Has not snuck on past midfield too many times.
Yeah, Fem Bison's the last one on their team with core flip. Excited to see how they use it. Olive Red team, no evade, and Drop Leto with a clean strike, managing to get it right through Carly OS and claiming the set.
Yeah, a bit of a 50-50 there. Not too many spaces to actually be able to get down there as the Kai to be able to block. Goes high, shoots low, ends up with a nice 3-0 set for the Bozo Bunch.
Great win, and now they're into the training draft, and it looks like X will be on Catalyst, which gives him a ton of energy to evade, get more core flips, and just be a menace. Oh, he goes... The Kai goes Orb Dance. I was kind of expecting the Glass Cannon here. Orb Dance was also pretty good. We'll see, though. The rounds have been really quick. I'm not sure if they'll be able to scale with the orbs. Fem Bison going Glass Cannon, meanwhile, I think will be really effective here. And Juno will go Super Surge and get a ton of funny little jumps this game, which I'm excited to see.
Yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch of those available given what the selections have ended up being as we are coming on out here to round number 2. The Catalyst for Darkletto as well, going to try to get a little bit more core control on a kit that otherwise lacks it. Going to get an early KO there as well, so with that numbers advantage, immediately just getting right on into the face here of Carly, who has not been able to do too much for the Pumpkin Patchers to keep things cleared on out. Now, taking it back onto the other side, though, they open up the goal and they score their first of the match here. Pumpkin Patchers get themselves on the board.
Very clean placement by Evian. And I wanted to note, Fem Bison has Deadeye and Glass Cannon. Those Gigas are going to be hurting, sending the enemies up flying across the map, possibly into the well.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that well in this map each and every time, and could end up being a big difference maker, especially with the ability Darkletto has to move folks around and going to immediately get the goal opened on up there. Fem Bison coming out towards midfield, trying to make sure things are cleared up and available. Darkletto up to himself, down to the center, and I gets it in for the goal. Muncher going to end up picking that one up.
It's a quick little textbook goal. Great pass by Darkletto and great vision by I to set up for the core flip right from the middle so they can really shoot anywhere.
Yeah, Bison was hanging out with us a little bit before the match-up started, and he's got herself a lot of confidence coming into this match. So really showing that along with the rest of the team here, they've been able to maintain control in that first set pretty effectively. See if they're going to be able to keep it up throughout the set, but they score back pretty fast, and now coming on out to get the third. The elusive up too far is Carly OS, and that is going to be a 2-1 lead in this set.
Yeah, Carly got forced out by Darkletto. They kind of did some O-keying, who we might see later in this tournament, just sitting on Carly. Sorry, ZZZ also does the same thing as O-key, sitting on the goalie and punching them a bunch.
Yep, that's the tactic, and comes out pretty huge there as Darkletto taking control of the court, just does it all on their own, takes full control, knocks it off the top, and finds their way into the goal for a 3-2-1 set, and it's going to be a major lead for the Bozo Bunch.
2 dominant sets by Bozo Bunch. I'm really looking at them to round out the top 5 here, potentially fighting a few other teams for 5th place, or maybe even higher. And Darkletto is kind of their carry. Excited to see how they continue to perform. You see the X already hovering Quick Strike, or Castellas. Kai can't deny them both. Chooses to deny the Quick Strike. Meanwhile, Era gets stacks over Chrono Boost. Kind of interesting. The speed will at least let them super continue to control the core, and against 2 midfielders, being able to control the core better should be helpful. The Chrono's not as effective when you're not against a brawler, so I can definitely see the choice. Juno going heavy impact's a little weird. Juno doesn't really have any impacts. I used to make this mistake a lot and take impact trainings on Juno.
Yeah, just kind of only, I guess, what is it, Blob? No, bounce, it doesn't count. Make it rain doesn't count as an impact either. Is it just kind of the blobs themselves?
Nothing does. The one thing you get is the CDR.
Okay.
Which can be helpful. I wasn't sure. Maybe that there is a world where heavy impact's the best option if everything else is really bad.
I suppose so. There is taking back control so far. Awakened Shrub has done a good job of keeping things cleared out and has managed to open up that goal for the other side. But Darkletto down to Muncher once again. A textbook play that we've seen come through multiple times for the Bozo Bunch. Once again finds them a successful goal.
Just consistently seeing this vision from Darkletto, really impressive, noting when they can just pass their midfielder and when they can score themselves.
Definitely, Muncher doing their best to keep things cleared out. A lot of bloblets, though, going to end up making a big difference there for Awakened Shrub on the Juno, and going to get a lot of damage and even a goal there. Carly the one actually knocking that in off the Giga Blast.
Yeah, good shrink early by Evian on Darkletto, kind of taking him out of the play, and they're able to just force it on through. Definitely. Now, new kickoff starting. Muncher beaming Evian on kickoff, kind of restricting them from the play. Meanwhile, Darkletto establishing core control on the top. Good Giga by Fem Bison to try and clear.
Yeah, Fem Bison has been keeping control pretty effectively here and does manage to keep things away from the barrier for now. Darkletto trying to take control up on the top side is in that Maximus and is just beaten on Carly for it, getting a good bit of damage on across. But the control of the core has been lost, and it is going to open things up here on the other side. But Darkletto, once again, getting a hold of that core and is going to be able to knock it in where Kai is not. Pumpkin Patchers end up giving up another one. Backs against the wall here now.
This is match point for them. Sharp had a great strike war win, but didn't matter because Drop Leto just dominating the match, really taking complete control.
Yeah,
And
been
now,
very difficult for them to respond to this X thus far. Here comes another core flip in from Muncher, but it is going to get stuffed there by Evian, so buying themselves a little bit of space back into this.
Carly really low, and there was a moment there where Bozo Bunch had all 3 core flips up. Now Carly dead, killed by X. Fen Bison has core flip, going up
That's
for the
it.
goal, and they just easily get it in. Nice win by Bozo Bunch.
Yeah, very clean performance there, showing why they had a substantially higher seed coming into this game number 1, and they are going to start off this Launchpad with a 1-0 record in Swiss.
Definitely an important. They don't want to drop as many games as possible. If they can end up in winners bracket, I really think this is a team that can get top 5, and they showed it here right now.
Yeah, and perhaps a rough introduction to the Launchpad tournament there for the Pumpkin Patchers. Going to still get plenty more opportunities to be playing on here again. 2-2 and better does make that bracket stage, but they are going to be starting on the negative side of that and are going to need to earn themselves some wins later on in the Swiss stage to be able to make it up there. Of course, they do now get to pair up against another 0-1 team, so we'll perhaps have some better chances there than they did up against Bozo Bunch, who are now going to be playing against another 1-0 team.
Yeah, and to be fair to Pumpkin Patchers, I really think that it looks like they may have 2 midfielders on their team, and Imezap is in a very unfortunate map for that. It's really hard when the middle thing can kill, and kill comes with kind of rain on that map.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, dominating the damage charts is Drop Leto there, up with the most, and with the most goals as well, going to earn themselves a pretty easy MVP there as they just keep on knocking things in, get most of the scores, most of the glory to themselves. And as you said, just not too many great options there to respond to the X, especially when, you know, you can't even rely on the era for the shrink down when the other era is just going to boost them right back up.
Yeah, it's still this X still gets slowed, but the damage just is very punishing, especially when you have a Kai with Deadeye ready to confirm the kill.
Yeah, that ends up coming through a whole bunch of times. So we are going to hunt around, try to find ourselves a second match in here today. So gonna have a little bit of downtime in between that, Liari, but we did get to see our some of our first showings of some of the returning awakenings there. We did get them for the grand finals as well, but otherwise haven't gotten to see too much competitive on the latest patch. I do think we are still short one character because we still have one disabled, no?
Oh, is Finny not available? I know she's been available in recent tournaments. I'm really hoping we
Okay, Finny
perfect.
is available. Saya has just confirmed. So I'm spreading misinformation. Finny is available. Do we think we're gonna get to see any Finny here today?
I know there's a few folks who play Finny. I know Evil Drew have been trying it. I'm personally a big fan of Lily Bun's Feeny. I think she's probably the best Feeny in the tournament. PP Maddie is unfortunately subbed out today. Normally, I've also seen him play a bit of Feeny. It feels like a lot of teams are definitely trying to pick up this character. She seems really strong, has a big damage amplifier, and even can be seen midfield by some folks.
Yeah, would be a
Typically seems to be run as a goalie. Sorry.
true. Yeah, no, I'd be excited to see that one. That's one I haven't gotten to see too much of yet in comp. So would definitely be what we are on the lookout for if we can find it. So we'll look around and see what our second matchup here is going to be before too long. But got a little bit of downtime in the meanwhile to check out what exactly has been going on. I'm going to go see if I can find some other results here.
Yeah, it
Seems
doesn't
like.
seem like there's been any upsets so far. Just expected seeds winning out. 2 teams actually ended up DQ'd, which is really unfortunate.
Hmm.
Um, but give Sony emote with CZZ, Numbered, and Oldray, probably a pretty big killing team. 2 Luna players, exciting. Winning over Winton from Overwatch, who did get DQ'd, but I really like their names, so I wanted to mention them.
Yeah, no,
Um,
unfortunate there. I'm really hoping for a Dylan's Burger game at some point. I do appreciate the reference, and I'm really hoping we get to cover one of their games before too long. Looks like they're still in their first match, but yeah, the Potato Farmers end up taking their win, and looks like Snackin' and Smackin', of course, with the bye, do end up taking a dub there as well.
yeah, I'm excited to see Potato Farmers later in the tournament. They're one of the, I want to say, 2 West Coast teams who I think could get top 5. Um, Appa Bug's been around for a bit since beta, known Julie player, loves KOing, can also play the Asher, and a little bit of the Zentaro. Bulby Diff, notable Estelle, Rasmus, and a bit of a Juno player. Um, Pretty aggressive, definitely not like a dedicated midfielder. He'll walk up and score, and Kavista, just notable Atlas player, has a few other characters up his sleeve too.
Fun stuff, fun stuff. Well, we're going to throw it to a quick break here while we get determined what our second match is going to be, but we're going to be back before too long as we continue on with the Swiss stage of Launchpad number 1.
See you.
Welcome back, everybody, to today's broadcast of Launchpad number 1. We have completed our first round of Swiss, and things rounded out with a huge upset from Chikara over Powerhouse Defenders. I'm rejoined by Liari here, getting into match number 2. Liari, what are your thoughts on the upset?
That was a really intense game. I actually managed to catch the end of it. It looked like, honestly, let me double check their name. I don't want to get it wrong here. The person who really popped off that game looked like Japanese Box on the IME. They managed to sneak a lot of goals past True Danger and get a ton of very influential IME turrets on Autumn City. Also, the Orb rep Duvu with Orb Dancer helped a lot.
Yeah, I mean, big surprise there for those not checking out the seeding on the Start GG page. That is 10th seed, upsetting the number 1 seed. So already starting to see some shakeouts there. You know, we don't. This is what we get for doing the seeding by hand, right? You don't have objective qualities for it, and maybe sometimes end up with some crazy upsets like this.
Yeah, and now we're about to watch him in this upcoming match against Quest Esports, and that'll be
Ooh,
pretty fun too. Could see Drew Danger was on the Finny goalie last game. I know Lilybun loves Finny goalie. Maybe Shakara just knows how to play into Finny goalie. Could see that another upset. Kind of excited.
yeah, I mean, definitely would love to see something like that come on through. There's a few different options available here. Quest Esports, of course, did just take themselves a solid round 1 win over Cursed Gaming, so they're living up to the seeding so far. They are coming in as the seed number 3, but I mean, it's all uphill from here if you're coming in as Chikara, right? You've already taken down the team that was supposed to be the best coming on in, so you've got to be riding high on that victory.
Yeah, morale has to be high for this team. They managed to they manage to get an early advantage and then actually see it through. And that feels really good. Quest is obviously a really exciting team. I think the most fun fact I have about them is that both Switch and Lilybun come from platform fighters. Switch, specifically Project M, one of the best Wolf players. Lilybun, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl and Flash Party, won the biggest tournament in both. Kind of both have a lot of competitive experience.
Yeah, definitely. So excited to see Quest Esports like a real quote unquote real org. Like they have teams in other esports. They play in Overwatch as well. It looks like according to their Twitter. So love to see some orgs from external esports start to come into Omega Strikers a little bit. We've already had players from all walks of life, all sorts of different esports. You brought up those platform fighters. We had some FPS players in the last NASL season. So League of Legends, of course, feeding plenty of folks over here as well. So love to see that expansion keep coming in here for our little community here.
Yeah, and actually, Hamster Quest, the midfielder for the roster, is the owner of the org. He played Overwatch in collegiate, and I believe that's probably how he has the Overwatch team.
Sure.
And they're pretty. Hamster Quest has a legacy in this game. He played in beta. He top three at a few tournaments, won a tournament as goalie, played with Leo Leon, one of the best forwards in the game. Yeesh, a pretty notable goalie. I think it's hard to argue he's anywhere below top 10. I don't want to say anything controversial here. Um, Probably a fair bit higher than top 10. I wouldn't say rounding out the bottom.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, see, he's kind of had a fall from grace since beta, and all of those top placements hasn't really been doing as well. But I think Quest Esports has kind of been together with this roster for, I want to say, at least 2 or 3 weeks now.
hmm
They've played together a lot, and they have a really good mental, I've heard.
Yeah, it looks like I see the announcements from June 24th. That's nearly a month ago now.
Mm.
So they've definitely been prepping for this one for a while. They always knew there's going to be some kind of open qualifier for them to try to get themselves into the Strikers League here, and they have found it in the form of Launchpad. It's going to be a long journey ahead of them to try to make it into the final 10, really the final 6. It's really only 6 more slots that are up for grabs, but getting off to a really solid start here with that win.
Yeah, I think they're probably one of the teams that are expected to be a potential upset. I wouldn't say people expect them to make it into NSAL, but I think they have the chance. And I think Lilybun has been someone who has scaled rapidly in the past few weeks. She was Challenger about a month ago and is now Omega near Pro League. She's used to be a Juno goalie one trick and has picked up a ton of characters since then. I already mentioned the Finny, also could see the Kai, the Dubu, and I think she has another character or two in her back pocket. And Hamster can basically play anyone. Switch, I think he's also picked up basically every brawler at this point. Most notable for his Juliet, though.
For sure. So quite the array that's going to be available here for them to try to bring on in to this match, and going to be facing off against this Chikara team. Already surprising plenty of folks here, but showing a lot, especially as you said from Japanese Box in that first round.
Yeah.
Really getting a lot done on the Aimi there, Aimi forward as well. So really do want to see if that's going to be the choice coming into this round number 2. If it gets banned away, maybe. It depends on how much attention to that last match Quest Esports were able to pay, I suppose.
Yeah, and now we get a night market game, which I think will be really good for Kai Fangirl, who is on Shakara's team, because they're an Era main. And night market is commonly referred to as Era's best map. It's a little harder to kill, and she can really control the middle speed.
Hovering the Dubu ban from Lilybun, or though switching it up to Aimi. Maybe tuning into the stream a little bit there, who's to say? But it does end up getting taken off.
I think that's definitely the right call, and we see Switch on the Zentaro. This is definitely probably his second or third most comfortable pick. I'm curious to see maybe the Super Surge start in the Awakening draft. Quest is going for a hard kill comp here. You're going to see Finny trying to hit her AoE, and then the rest of the team just jumps right on the person they hit and kills them. Should be a very explosive game on their end. Meanwhile, a more standard core control comp from Shikara. The Japanese Box switching over to the Erasmus now that the Aimi is banned.
Exciting to see here. Very different looks on the map coming in from both teams here, both going for vastly different compositions. We'll see what differences those end up making up here as Hamster Quest going to go aggressive right away to start things off, blinking on in, but not finding a goal barrier so far. Been a pretty good set of defenses coming in from Vladilena. will be able to eventually end up letting one drop through, but clears it back out of Herbert.
High Fangirl Stagger, they're going to be looking to set up this kill. Managed to get the quick double barrier, though, on the rebound. And now Japanese Box trying to confirm the goal. Hit level 2, might have the hookup.
Yeah, getting a lot done as there's going to be that special coming on out of the Finny there, trying to clear things on out, but Switch not able to get it past the Tofu Fortress, getting a lot of work done for Vladilina, but there's a KO responded to by Japanese Box pretty quickly. Now going to be just a 2 versus 2 on the map. Hamster Quest, though, not the most mobile of characters, just trying to get things cleared on out and doesn't want it to get snuck past by that Whiplash. Will be able to successfully keep things cleared out long enough for Switch to be able to rejoin the fight.
And definitely looks like Hamster Press has a core flip here, going to try and make something useful with it. Hits the ulti, murders Japanese Box, gets him off the map, and now they'll see if they can convert this with a barrier. Good barrier. And maybe they can get the goal here.
Yeah, looking to finish things off. That's a nice eye rush coming on through from Switch, who is going to pass it on down to Hamster Quest. It's just knocked right on in. Core going a little bit too fast for Japanese Box to grab, and that's going to be a 1-0 lead coming over to the side of Quest Esports.
Great angle by Hamster here, and the biggest difference between these two teams is you'll see stacks all on Shikara's side, and then 2 prize fighters on blue side on their forwards. And those prize fighters are almost stacked, and they'll be doing a ton of damage.
Another nice Tofu Fortress coming through from Vladilina, just to buy a little bit of additional time, and so far has kept things cleared very effectively. Japanese Box finds that barrier, but Switch comes alive and finds themselves a KO off the top side. Lilybun now approaching add to midfield, throws out the big finish, and is going to be able to secure the second barrier off that one. Switch nearly knocks it in, but a nice save from Vladilina does make the difference, but maybe going to go down to the Supernova. They do finish him off. It's Switch who actually claims the KO at the end of the day. Looking for that KO, a huge death touch from Japanese Box, though. Buys that last bit of space and manages to keep it alive for so long, but finally it gets closed on out there by Quest.
There's such an overwhelming amount of damage here from Quest. They all have prize fighter stack, 75 extra power, plus the Finny damage amp. It's really hard to play into this comp right now.
Definitely. You know, we talked about 2-2 and better qualify. These teams are both 1-0. A win here does at least get you into bracket. You definitely are going to want to fight for better seeding. You're going to want to get into that winner's side, but a big difference here to be able to win this match. Definitely gets you able to breathe a sigh of relief for the rest of the Swiss stage, as another KO is earned by Quest Esports. Switch moving up towards the bottom side. Japanese Box already staggered, gets taken down by Hamster Quest for the double KO, and this should be an easy closeout. Big finish, though, maybe getting a weird angle on it. Doesn't quite finish it off, but they find another KO, and they finish it out 3-0.
Little bit of a goofy moment, but clean finish. It's going to be really hard for Shikara win these sets if they get snowballed on. Both teams are basically looking to snowball with their trainings, and you really want to see how the first point goes. Now, training draft here, Vice getting heavy impact is going to just make her do a ridiculous amount of damage. We'll see the Stagger Swagger is up for takes. If the Dubu takes this, though, the Finny gets Twin Drive and this does even more damage. And he goes Monumentalist instead. Finny gets Twin Drive, and that's a lot of damage amp. Rasmus gets Stagger Swagger, but not as good as it used to be at healing. They can definitely damage stack and murder him.
Yeah, absolutely. The regen's great, the movement speed not quite as much so, and those more frequent double takes, as you say, that's really what I'm maybe looking for out of Lilybun here, to see just how much they can abuse this KO-focused comp. Look at that damage. Hamster and Switch, they just take them out instantly off the back of the damage amp and are now just running away on a Japanese Box, who's also going to find themselves staggered here. That's going to be another KO. Composition firing on all cylinders here for Quest Esports as they are taking full control over the map, opening up the goal, and looking to close this out quickly and easily. There it goes. Hamster Quest with the first goal.
I think Quest has practiced this comp a lot in scrims, and you can really see it. They're pretty good at damage stacking. Lily hits a AoE, and they instantly start jumping on whoever they hit. And now with the prize fighters getting stacked, Japanese Box already looking low.
Coming up towards the top side, Switch ready to receive. It's going to be Kai Fangirl brawling back and forth, but really under-leveled compared to where Switch is. Instead, they're just going to move on down, try to focus things on the Japanese box, who has managed to regen a fair bit of their stagger thus far, but now just all in is Switch trying to get the job done. Does have that core flip, goes for it just to finish off the KO, sneaks it past Vladilina, but can't quite find the goal barriers. There they go. They will drop pretty fast to that numbers advantage, and now Hamster on the one-on-one calls Lily up there, is going to go in for the core flip, and is going to close things out for a second goal.
Clean goal, Hamster about to get the core flip, and the thing you saw last round is Rasmus, they almost damage tapped completely on him to get him staggered. He lived with a little bit of HP, healed up, but it didn't matter. The next rotation, they just got the rest of the damage down.
Really?
And looks like they're doing it again.
Oh, just running through Japanese box. That damage is just incalculable. There's nothing they can do to try to deal with this at this point. The evasive from Kai Fangirl going to buy a little bit of additional time, but going to get staggered and knocked away there by the Oni's blade anyways. And now Vladilina, with their work cut out for them in this 1-on-2, will stay alive for a little bit, but that's another KO earned by Hamster Quest, and Lilybun just keeps on deflecting these shots from Japanese box, and really close to being able to take a second set here.
Yeah, you just saw her ping-pong there for a second. Rasmus had thrown out the hook, and Hamster came up, got the fuck out for her, because kind of hard for Finny to play against the Rasmus abilities by herself. As you saw there with the barrier take.
Yeah, is an open goal there for the other side. Quest Esports taking back control, but Chikara with a chance to get their first score here, and definitely are going to want that momentum earned back for them as they have just been getting bullied around the map. Another KO earned for Switch. Japanese box, though, coming alive, looking for the whiplash, can't find it, and Hamster Quest now, the only one touching the core, cannot catch up with it is Vladilina, and a 3-0 set to Quest.
It's a calm late strike there by Lily, managing to beat out the Rasmus spin, and they get it past the Dubu and score. Another training draft, and we'll see what the Aimi goes here. Probably prime time. Yeah. Now with Twin Drive prime time, she's just really going to be spamming abilities and doing a ton of damage. And
indeed,
if
she will. And
Dubu getting missile prop, but Vice meanwhile getting built diff, even more impact damage. It'll be insane.
Yeah, definitely getting some really powerful setups onto this Finny, really showing what the character brings to the meta, and what the character brings is a boatload of damage, as they just do not seem to be able to produce great answers here, as Switch and Hamster Quest have been all over them.
And you also saw Zentaro get perfect form. They're just all spamming abilities, all dealing an insane amount of damage. This will be very bloody set.
Yep. Oni Blade coming on out there, knocking Japanese box down to about half, taking control up on the top side, and looking to pressure onto Vladilina, who so far has been able to clear things out. It's really a goal barrier advantage, actually, for the side of Chikara. What else can they get out of it? Japanese box dropping very low, very fast. Kai Fangirl knocked aside by the big finish and knocked into the blast zone by Hamster Quest. Now, that numbers advantage. Japanese box fighting through it, though. Does manage to get the goal opened up. That's a pretty big advantage if they can get their full team back. Or do they even need it? A great block there used for the double time from Lilybun. Going to keep the time going and going to open up the goal for the side of Quest.
Wind Drive is just too clutch. And now everyone has core flip on the side of Quest. Gonna see if they can finish up this set. Also core flips though on Chikara, so it could be anyone's round.
Yeah, nice block there by Vladilina. Does go in for their core flip to be able to keep the side alive. It's going to be one used by Hamster Quest as well for not too much value. Japanese box with a chance to score, but can't get their hands onto the core, and now it gets knocked back on over to Switch. Oh, great block there. Japanese box catches it with the death touch, now trying to get the job finished, and can do so. Goal for Japanese box.
Night Market moment. The puffy angle off the terrain kind of goes insane.
Yep. It's, perhaps not intentional, but, you take all the
definitely
credit in the world for
intentional.
that. Yeah, for sure. It's paid a lot of attention in geometry class and made it work.
Yes, I always say those are intentional.
Definitely. I mean, nothing else you can say other than intended, and definitely coming out the way that they want it to there, as they do manage to get their first goal. But wow, that return there on the misdirection from the Finny does so much. Does earn them that KO, does open on up the goal, and now the bullying coming through onto Kai Fangirl. They are the best hope to be able to prevent this from being a 1-to-1 scoreline, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. Switch goes on in with a rush, can't quite find the target, but a Hamster Quest finds a KO off the top side, goes in with Supernova, good deflect away, but the evasion not going to be enough. Another KO is earned, and so is the goal.
And that's huge. They get the stacks off of Vadalina and Kai Fangirl, who are now at 0. Hamster full prize fighter, Switch only at 1 still. So not all the way stacked on power, but should still be seeing a lot of damage come through.
Prize fighter feels a little illegal with this team composition. They just stack it up so quickly and easily, and now are going to be taking full advantage of that fact. Quest just trying to finish off Kai Fangirl, just getting bullied off the bottom corner. Will eventually go on down, and now Hamster Quest with full control on the bottom side does open up one of the goal barriers. There comes in the grand finale to open on up the goal. Here comes the core flip, and Switch knocks it right through Vladalina's hands for match point.
Clean, patient strike by Switch, and you're seeing a lot of these middle passes by Quest just dominating the map and managing to get the core around the enemy instead of straight through them a lot of the time too.
The bottom side going back on up towards Switch. A chance to close things out for Quest here, and they definitely want to seize that opportunity. Would get them into the bracket stage. Definitely a bit of a loss of momentum for Chikara off the back of upsetting the first seed. Definitely want to show a little bit more in this matchup up against the number 3 seed, but Quest in full control here. They do have the numbers advantage. They do manage to open up one of those goals. Japanese box respawns, but they've already lost a goal barrier for this.
Lilybun really far up here with the core flip. Almost gets the gold by herself.
Knocks it back down to Hamster Quest. Switch going to be ready to receive on the top side. Japanese box has been able to get some stuff done here in the solo matchups, but another KO. That's a 12 streak for Hamster Quest. Already at Omega level. Japanese box only level 5, knocking it on down towards Switch and trying to close things out here. Moving forward, Supernova is there, ricochets it off to the other side. Lilybun manages to defend the goal. Now dancing forward, looking to finish things off. Japanese box takes control on the top side, can't find it with the whiplash or the pendulum swing. And Hamster Quest now stepping on down, has access to that core flip, but cannot find it. Neither can the grand finale. Lilybun knocks up towards the top side. Japanese box retains control, moves back on down, and there's the ricochet goal from Hamster Quest all around the entire map, eventually finding a victory for Quest Esports.
That was the most demon of angles. Well done by Hamster Quest and the whole team there, just playing their comp well and getting the win. We'll have to see how Chikara responds to KO comps in the future, and I'm curious how much damage the Vice did.
It's going to be a lot. I mean, I'm waiting for it to come on through here, but it's going to be, take a guess. I'm going to say like 35K.
I was going to go with around 30K.
All right, let's see. We'll go for the high-low.
Yeah.
33. We'll split the diff.
Yeah,
all right.
A little closer to you. A little closer to you. I got gapped.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, thank you very much there, Liari. This has been a fun couple of games. It does look like it is going to be a 2-0 start here for Quest Esports, well on their way to being a solid seed in that bracket stage. This is going to drop Chikara down to 1-1, and they are going to be playing in some close matchups as we get on later towards the Swiss stage.
Yeah, definitely an explosive start to the Swiss pools. I'm excited to see how the next two games go. I really want to see which two teams end up 4-0 in this pool. I think there's a few teams that can take it, and Quest is definitely one of them.
Yeah, looking real solid here as we're going to pay a visit to a couple of highlights here before we head on out. But that is actually going to do it for Liari and I's section of the broadcast here. We're going to be moving on towards Daftgrass and Saya to take us through the last two games of Swiss here. But been a fun first couple of games of the new season here, Liari.
Yeah, I'm happy to see we definitely saw the KO meta in full force on even Night Market. Not really much of a killing map. Aten City, that game was a little less killing though. Also a notable not much of a killing map. We'll see. I think Oshino Coreflip, another team in this tournament, is really good at kill comps, and I think that's kind of the meta right now, and I'm really hoping to see them, particularly tomorrow when they have their main roster playing, just pop off and have a lot of insane performances.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fun one here, but we're going to take it to a quick break while we switch on out our casts and find our way into match number 3 of the Swiss bracket. So do not go anywhere. We're going to be back with more action here in Launchpad number 1. But before we head out, Liari, anything you want to shout out? Any socials to plug?
I have a Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Liari. Besides that, thank you for having me. I hope you have a great rest of your day and enjoy the stream.
Cool, cool. You can find me on Twitter at GordoCasts, and I will see you guys whenever I'm back here next. I think I'm going to be on a couple of matches tomorrow, but until then, enjoy the rest of the stream and enjoy the rest of Launchpad.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Launchpad number 1. I was muted for a second. It's okay. Dapcrass is shaking his head. That's also okay. And we're here with two teams, Give Sony Emote and Oshi no Core Flip. But Oshi no Core Flip is a little bit different. Two of the roster is gone for today. They'll probably be back tomorrow, but right now there's a reason they're 1-1 because they're not at their full power.
Yeah, not at their full power indeed. Obviously, right now, instead of Merchant and Meg, they actually have a Tier and Frightfully Fresh. From what I'm aware, a Tier is subbing in essentially for Meg, but then they've kind of swapped it, Kashiko, and normally their midfielder has swapped to that forward position, while a Tier is now taking over that midfielder role, and obviously Frightfully Fresh. My hunt shout out, Goat, is now in that goalie position. What do you think about that, Saya?
I mean, both of them are solid players, but it is not the Oshi no Core Flip that is at the very peak that has taken down Titans in the past. Like, they did not make top cut at Big Fish Friday for a reason, and they're really going to have to step it up here because right now they're 1-1. If they lose two more, they won't even make it to the bracket stage.
Yeah, and making it to the bracket stage, so important, especially when you consider the fact that, from what I know, I do believe Meg and Frightfully Fresh, it's just a today thing. So if they make it to that, second set, the second bracket hero, they'll be back. They'll be back to playing it tomorrow. So hoping that, maybe even if not this week, next week, obviously, they'll probably be able to make it.
Yeah, and right now, though, the matchup is Give Sony Emote versus the Oshi no Core Flip again, and Give Sony Emote has some names that have been absent a little bit from tourney for a moment. Number ZZ and Oldray. It's been a while since we've seen all three of these in the same tournament, not to mention the same team.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I need you. Can you give me a rundown of the roster for Sony emotes real quick?
Well, there's Numbered, the goalie, as we're all sure, used to be a very good melee goalie player back in the beta, which showed up in launch as well, but has been pretty absent nowadays compared to the other goalies that have been more well known. And ZZZ, one of the more violent players in Omega Strikers, playing kill characters, played a Juno that would sit on the enemy goalie for a while during the Stinger era, and now usually just picks up the Luna and turns it into a KO game no matter the map. And also Oldray, I'm pretty sure was also a Luna forward at one point, but now I think just a standard midfielder.
Yeah, I normally I have obviously the teams and stuff pulled up. For some reason I didn't, but ZZZ. Once again, going back to what you said, right? Juno player, loves the Juno. I know he plays a lot of other picks. For the most part, it's interesting, right? Because you have ZZZ, you have Oldray, both known for Juno and Luna historically. ZZZ also for his X way back when in beta. But I know I haven't seen Oldray play in a very long time at this point. I know I saw them maybe around a month and a half ago, sitting somewhere in competitive ladder, but honestly, Numbered and Oldray, both of these players, I haven't seen in a long time. So I'm excited to see what they're gonna pull out here today. Obviously, they're already, already have their 2 wins in Swiss, so this could potentially be their third pickup here.
Yeah, and it's a big win for Oldray back during the beta was actually at this one funny tournament named Play Better Win More Series number 1 Daftgrass Sucks Edition.
Whoa.
Oldray, it was a pickup tournament with a lot of top players. Oldray got second, barely but behind Trix Overflow, a team that was quite ridiculous for a draft tournament. Slop in Overflow and Trick. So honestly, Oldray not a stranger to the tournament stage.
Yeah, and not a stranger indeed. Honestly, I forgot those tournaments even happen at this point. They've been so long. We've run a bunch of stuff since then. But I'm excited to get into it, and it does look like we are finally gonna get into it here. It took a little bit, obviously. Teams, maybe someone had to go to the bathroom or something, a little miscommunication from their end, but all good. We're getting into it now. I'm excited to see what this map is gonna be because, Aten City. What are your thoughts on this, Saya?
Yeah, Alton City will be very interesting because I think that definitely favors the side of Oshino core flip just a little bit. Alton City, a lot of orbs to heal up, so it'll be a little bit more difficult for ZZZ to execute that KO game plan, and I think that this team is sort of committed to letting ZZZ execute that game plan.
Yeah, and I actually think it might... Okay, well, they do pick out the Luna ban, which I thought was going to be coming in here because obviously, right, it's a very open map. ZZ able to maneuver around very easily on that Luna pick, be able to knock people off the edge as he does so often with that Palmer's. Looks like we're going to see Kashi coming on the Amy. There's a Juno pick on the other side, whether it's ZZ or Uldre, I'm not too sure. Have to imagine that it would be ZZ though.
Yeah, well, it depends, right? ZZ also plays the X sometimes, so although it might be Uldre, it also could be ZZZ, but there's one thing we're sure of, and it's that Numbered is on that Dubu as Fresh is on the Kai. No Rasmus to be seen here, banned away, and we're just going to load into the game on Alton City, and we'll have to see what the starting awakenings are.
Yeah, these starting awakenings also important. I guess that's why we're seeing this area here as Cast the Last coming out along with Reverberation.
Yeah, it's a little interesting, right? Reverberation taken by Kashikoma because of that signature I Me Not. Really getting too much value from Cast the Last, but ZZ on that X will just be a menace with that Cast the Last. The longer X Maximus duration will be a menace for Frightfully Fresh.
Yeah, menace indeed, as Kashikoma probably taking that Reverberation to play on those edge walls and not die to ZZZ or Uldre damage. Or even Number to, Number can put out a decent amount of damage himself, as this one does come back to fight for the Fresh. Back to Atir. Atir shoving it forward. Kashikoma almost puts that one in, but Atir with the kill on Numbered, if that one kept going, shoves it right in for our first point in the match.
Great passing plays coming in, and maybe we underestimated Oshino core flip a little bit. We said they were a weaker roster, but right now their passing is pretty good despite being that double midfielder. And if there was a map for double midfielder, I think Alton City is one of those maps where it's more okay.
It definitely is, but at the same time, you have to worry about playing on the sides there, as we saw ZZ getting a free kill essentially right off rip, as now Kashikoma with the core flip sending it forward into Numbered. Numbered almost having his core flip as well, ZZ having his, putting pressure on the other side. ZZ wants to flip your flip, sends it to the bottom, and gets our second point of the match, making it 1-1.
1-1 indeed, and that's a little bit of more what we were expecting from Give Sony emote over here. That type of gameplay, the damage into pressuring for the angles in front of the goal. So we'll have to see if they can keep up that damage playstyle.
And damage playstyle they need to keep up indeed, as it is essentially what is going to win them the points. But it doesn't matter if Number's going to core flip from the other side of the map and get that one. Uldre with that little friend fling almost gets the goal there. It's almost slipping past Frightfully Fresh. Now has the core flip to work forward. Kashikoma staggered on the other side here. Uldre to ZZZ. ZZZ going forward. Uses that bull rush. Doesn't get anything, but Uldre with the little snipe in the bottom corner, hitting off that little angle and bouncing up right past Frightfully Fresh. And there's that second point, and they could potentially win the set here.
What an angle. I didn't even think that would go in, but it gets the perfect bounce off the corner. Right now it's here trying to control the pace of the game, trying to shrink Uldre, but maybe the wrong person to shrink. No, but the tornado is on target, and the tier has flipped. One good passing play could be the goal here, but Numbered is a little too big to get scored on by that flick over there. Uses the Summer Assault, and that damage just stacks up, KOs a tier, and now it is yet another power play for the side of Give Sony emote.
And now this one comes to ZZ. ZZ popping the core flip and shoves it right past Frightfully Fresh. Frightfully Fresh tried to read that, couldn't get that one. And again, this is, we talked about it before. This is that damage comp, Saya.
Yeah, damage just so overwhelming here once they get that KO. And now it is looking so good for this Juno. Likely will just pick up the prime time here. And then the X has to pick up the litter. Quick Strike Stagger Swagger could be denied here, and Timeless Creator could fall down as well. Quick Strike denied by the era importantly, but there's just so much that it has to be left up.
Something interesting here. ZZ picking up the Twin Drive over Stagger Swagger. What do you think about that?
It's definitely a very ZZZ type of pick, but I'm not in a vacuum. I think the Stagger Swagger is way better in that slot.
Yeah, especially when you consider the fact that it gives you 8% speed, but obviously not going to matter if on the other end, Tier's just going to put it right through, gets the barrier, gets it right through, puts us to our first point in this new set here.
Yeah, and it really makes you wonder, like, what are they trying to do here? Because Twin Drive lets ZZ go for more of those scoring opportunities, but that additional speed on Fresh is so good, especially when damaged as well. And now Atir and Kashikoma don't even need that. They're just getting the passing plays up the field, and they have just so much possession. Numbers finally getting the clear, but still, they just cannot fish it out of it long enough.
Yeah, and when you think about it, right, as Atir is going to core flip this one, send it right back. But again, right, this entire idea is the fact that if you're Oshino core flip right here, you need speed. Because the enemy team, obviously they have X and Juno. It's really just the Juno who has any semblance of core control. So if you get that speed, you get that HP, I mean, you kind of just run away with the game.
Yeah, they're not dying as well. Freshly Fresh using that speed to navigate around ZZZ to not get baited, but the flip goes backwards off of the Tofu Fortress, and now, if Numbered is careful, no, what a great snipe by Kashikoma to get that final goal in the set.
Yeah, and you know, they gave him staggers, they gave Fresh stagger swagger, but at the same time, they're trying to sit on him. So I feel like 2 and 2 don't correlate here.
Yeah, and now there's a lot of picks for this Kashikoma Aimi aerials on the table. Missile Propulsion could also be taken here, but also the Orb Dancer. It is Aten City after all the 6 orbs, and Orb Awakenings are so powerful. A little rough that the Replicator is here as well, but we see an interesting Monumentalist pickup for the Dubu, maybe sort of denying the era of Atir here instead of picking up the Missile Propulsion.
Yeah, I do feel like if you're Dubu in this situation, the Monumentalist is good, but obviously with the new Dubu changes to the wall, it could be a bit of a hindrance sending it out. Obviously now Tofu Fortress is treated more like a terrain and will send the core out at light speed if it does get stuck inside of it. But now ZZZ here on Atir, almost killing them on this bottom part, but once again, Atir having the speed to run away and kind of play their lives a little as, oh my god, Oldre off the map, but Atir off the map as well, as now Numbered passing to ZZZ up to Kashikoma. Kashikoma might have a cyber swipe here, maybe not, as the roll does come out from Numbered, sending this one to the other side of the map, but ZZZ with the bell ringer gets the barrier and pushes Kashikoma and Freshly Fresh away from the core, and now just shoves it right through. Had flipped there, but the Giga Chat of ZZZ didn't even use it.
Giga Chat, indeed, ZZZ, what a presence in the midfield, just splitting the Red Sea it looked like, and just taking the barrier with almost no contest from the side of Oshino core flip, and yet again using the flip, investing it for the barrier, so worth it when you leave the goal open. Kashikoma wastes flip there, but the barrier is taken by Tornado of Atir, who has flip.
Yeah, and there's that flip used right into the friend fling from Oldre. Kashikoma down on this bottom side. Atir, ooh, but Kashikoma, and again, going back to it, playing too close to the sides. This is the type of interactions that Sony Emotes wants, as now this friend fling tries to pass it to ZZ and gets it to ZZ here, but Frightfully Fresh doing a great job of defense here. Kind of maybe wanted to grab this orb. The Tornado is stopping that core flip from Numbered, as now on this top side Number using that Summer Assault. And ZZ showing us a little bit of the twin drive action, is now Atir once again with Kashikoma on this top side. Nice little pass in play to get it right past Number.
Yeah, and right here, we're starting to see a little bit of the difference here. Kashikoma is so comfortable with striking in that midfield position at the center in front of the goal. Oldre, it feels like, was a little bit hesitant, and that was a real difference maker. We'll see if Oldre warms up as the game progresses. But right now, ZZ trying to punch out Fresh, but Fresh is like almost immortal with so many orbs of Stagger Swagger.
Yeah, and Fresh, honestly, I mean, it's just the Stagger Swagger, right? You need your Juno to put pressure on him to even be able to kind of like work anything in this game, as he's just going to heal his health bar back up as soon as he stops getting damaged for a little bit. As now Kashikoma here on this bottom part. Ooh, ZZ popping the core flip. Doesn't get the core, but does get the barrier, so I guess it's worth in some way. As now the core flip from Numbered back into Atir's core flip. Kashikoma using that cyber swipe, trying to get something forward. As now it comes to Atir to Kashikoma. Glitch pop thrown out. Nothing gained. Nothing ventured. Oh, but Atir getting that one with a little bit of a bewitching beam onto Numbered. Numbered not able to grab that core, and they have a chance to take this next set for themselves.
The strike war wins for Atir have been so crucial, just winning in front of the goal, getting those angles against the Dubu, who is not quite fast yet, has the momentum boost, but that's about it, so we'll have to be pretty careful.
As the cyber swipe does come out, and now Frightfully Fresh doing a little bit of kind of almost a lazy clear there, not recognizing Oldre. has that blob bounce to be able to, you know, kind of jump a little bit of halfway through the field, and Oldre doing such a nice job finding that angle, getting that one in, and we are tied here for match point on this set.
Right for match point, and that flip invested to get that defensive play, get it away. Rightfully Fresh clearing it, leading to that offensive play, taking the barrier away from Give Sony emote, and Kashikoma has flipped, can blink into position for that goal, but the barrier being taken is on the side of Oshino Coreflip, and both barriers are down. Number has to be so careful here, but is pushed out of position with the flip, and that is another set going to Oshino Coreflip.
Yeah, and great job from Kashikoma there, holding the flip, getting, you know, waiting until they got close, right on number to be able to flip that one essentially for free to the other side of the net. What a great job.
Yeah, and looking at the Awakenings here, X will have a lot of picks. Can't deny them all. Definitely Big Fish, Tempo Swing, Chrono Boost, all on the table. Tempo Swing the one to be opted for, and Hotshot will be taken away from the Kai by Numbered.
It does look like Era's going to get Chrono Boost here for essentially free. Well, Fresh is going to get Big Fish too, so Fresh getting some more survivability while Era essentially getting one of her best trainings here.
Yeah, this draft, not exactly what Give Sony emote would have liked to see, but still they will try, and that Tempo Swing could make the difference in terms of damage and presence for ZZZ, but right now Kashikoma just controlling the midfield along with the tier, and it is looking so difficult for Numbered and Oldre to get out of the situation.
Yeah, and a tier right there, just going to throw a little bit of a strike past Numbered. Numbered tried to use the Summer Assault on it, got to the core, but again, a tier just there to catch it.
Yeah, and we were doubting Oshino Coreflip so much. I was doubting Oshino Coreflip so much, but this roster is proving that it is enough so far to look towards that 2-win mark to qualify for the bracket stage. Not just yet, but right now they had the lead in the final set.
Well, just to be clear, I'm not sure who this we is. You know,
Okay.
Entirely, just to be entirely clear, as Kashikoma is going to core flip this one and send it through, but, you know, I had faith in them.
Okay.
Obviously, I love ZZZ, but you know how it is.
Well, potential final point of the game here. Can ZZ and Oldre put something together? But the offense from Oshino Coreflip is impressively... Oh, but ZZZ getting the return kill. That offense snuffed out in an instant, but the barrier is still down for their trouble, and Oldre waiting to not get hit by the Bewitching Beam and not get strike board there as Number comes back up. Watch out! Number taking half his health from Tornado, but the offense continues for Oshino Coreflip.
And now a tier throwing out that core flip with Number, throwing out the Tofu Fortress in response, sending out the pumpkins, sending them out, trying to get something out of that value as Frightfully Fresh throws out that barrage a little too early there, just trying to stop the inevitable gold barrier from falling to these Juno Slimes as ZZZ and Oldre are putting up such a front on offense here as a tier. Kind of starting to get a little low, might get punched off the map by ZZZ here, but actually does a great job throwing that Bewitching Beam on ZZZ. Oh, but Numbered doing a little combo move. The Summer Assault into the smack off by ZZZ, and now ZZZ with this core flip here wants to put the pressure, but Frightfully Fresh using his own core flip, sending it across the map, and Numbered caught a little too far forward in the map.
Maybe that's why they're called Oshino Coreflip, because their core flips have really been a huge point, a huge highlight for them as they go 2-1 so far in the Swiss stage, and they qualify for the bracket stage at the very least. They'll be looking to improve their seeding, maybe head onto the winner's side, but that's definitely a huge win for them here.
Yeah, and looking at some of the stats here, ZZZ with, you know, 28,000 damage, but look at his redirects. Only 35 and 13 shots, having really not a lot of presence because once again, it's picking X, not getting speed, and playing on a map like Authen City, which is so open. You can get the kills, but it doesn't matter if your team isn't getting that core control.
Yeah, definitely a map that favored Oshino Coreflip quite a bit. They were really able to activate that double midfield comp, especially with the Aimi able to lock down those bottom and top pockets. So definitely a well-earned win, but also a little bit of good luck for Oshino Coreflip.
A little bit of good luck indeed, as they are going to need it. Definitely want to push themselves towards that bracket stage and get to that day 2.
Yeah, and as we take a look at the replays, it's really that Aimi and Era comp just had so much control in the midfield, right? They were just passing back and forth around the X, and ZZ in front of the goal was so scary, but ZZ in front of the goal only happened like 5 times.
Yeah, and like, look, it's that idea of, okay, I'm gonna pick X here. My options are either I'm gonna get a kill off the side with Bellringer, maybe a little bull rush into ult action off that side. But if you can't get one of those two, then you lose so much pressure on the field because then your other option is to sit on the goalie who has Stagger Swagger Big Fish. So not a lot he can do there. Maybe a bit of, maybe if he had the Luna might have shown, flown a little better. But obviously banned away from him, so nothing too much you can do there.
Yeah, letting through that Stagger Swagger definitely, I think, was the biggest blow to their game plan. And as these replays end, Daftgrass, what do you think is in store for these two teams in the future? Because there's one round left after this. We'll be here for that one as well. But do you see either of these teams making it to that 3-win mark?
Look, I think Oshinoko Flip has a great shot at it. I love Frightfully Fresh. He looked really good in that game, especially with all the pressure that ZZZ was putting on him. So I think they got in the bag.
All right, but for now, we will be heading to a slight break as we wait for round 4. So we'll see you then. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here once again, Launchpad Swiss Round 4, the final one we have for today, obviously, in terms of our Swiss bracket. I'm excited because we're going to see some, honestly, in my very personal opinion, the top two teams of this Swiss right now, Quest Esports versus Powerhouse Defenders. On that Powerhouse Defenders team, we have Yoki, Evil Drew, Danger. Oh my god, I can't pronounce his name. Evil Drew Danger. A little bit of a, tongue twister there. Bloom versus Quest Esports, which again has that roster of Switch. Hamster Quest Lilybun already make an appearance on stream once again. But this game, little bit of importance for Powerhouse Defenders, currently sitting 2-1 in the bracket. If they lose, they still make it to the next stage, but they want to win to be on that winner side instead of the loser side. So, Saya, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, it'll be interesting, right? We saw Powerhouse losing to a team that would have been projected to be much, much weaker than them, Chikara, so I'm not so sure. But the Powerhouse in that game went with the Finny goalie, a pick that Evil Drew Danger definitely wasn't as good on as his usual melee goalie, so if they pick, I guess, a more safe approach here instead of that all damage, all in that didn't work out, maybe they'll be able to show more of that gameplay that we know from them.
Yeah, and there's that Finny ban. Talked about it earlier. Lilybun playing a lot of Finny recently. That Finny Zentaro Vice combination that Quest Esports has played every time they're able to get their hands on it. Now taken away from them, having to opt instead for that Amy. On the other side, though, you talk about safe picks. Evil Drew Danger, his Atlas taken away, forced to go back to that Dubu now, as what he kind of first started coming up into, but has played a lot more Atlas recently, so I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, definitely, but looking at these comps, there's a lot more damage on the side of Quest Esports, so that's definitely something, especially on a map like Atlas Lab, that Powerhouse Defenders will have to really worry about here.
Yeah, and you talk about the damage, and look at our starting Awakenings, Quick Strike and built different. So damage indeed, as look at Bloom's HP bar, there is nothing there.
And Moon's HP bar vanishes almost immediately, and Yoki getting the top barrier, but overall, Hamster and Lilybun and Switch, these characters are the damage characters, and catching. Oh, I can't believe it. These KOs will just not stop because Bloom is the staggered one and wasn't even the one KO. Drew Danger with the save, but I don't know if Yoki keeps getting KO'd like that. If Bloom is permanently staggered here, does Zentaro not have the KO though? Like, this will just be so overwhelming in terms of that striker advantage.
Overwhelming indeed, and honestly, with the built different start, the Amy might have been the better pick here, as Amy getting a lot of value out of that built different, as, oh my god, Evil Drew Danger is fighting for his life in his net as Bloom sent off by Lilybun coming forward, dropping that cyber swipe with that eject button, able to put so much pressure and damage on the map, and we have our first point.
And we've seen eject button 90 have a little bit of a return to prominence, as the current iteration of Strike Shot definitely isn't its greatest hour. It's not the best it's been, and Lilybun using that eject button has been an eject button player since Juno, all the way back in the beta, playing that Juno goalie as you said earlier. Like, this is just familiar territory for Quest Esports, and familiar territory plus high damage comp, especially on this map and this patch, means that they just have a huge advantage.
Yeah, huge advantage they do have, as Switch popping that core flip, honestly, just to try and live as Yoki staggered. Once again, I mean, half this game probably going to be played with multiple people staggered. Yoki able to get freed from, stagger purgatory there, as now Evil Drew Danger on this bottom side has his flip up, but both members of Quest Esports sitting there, holds his core flip to throw it out, as now Switch back with the core once again. And interesting enough, Switch taking that Vicious Fan Brace along with Yoki, giving these Zentaros a little more survivability, but Yoki actually going to find a kill here, as Evil Drew Danger is going to get that barrier onto Lily. And now Bloom with Yoki needs to try and get this other barrier while Switch is down, fighting in this top corner. Yoki able to find that strike through, as now Yoki and Bloom need to push forward into this one, but Yoki sitting a little bit too staggered on this other side, as now Bloom here has abilities, has things to use. Piercing shot. Nothing gained.
Yeah, they're so close on this offense, but so far away, as Switch and Hamster are pretty healthy. Yoki about to go off the map, but these KO attempts aren't enough, almost leading to a goal for the Powerhouse Defenders, and it was so scary there, pushed the blink almost to the perfect angle, but now Switch is the one who is low. Yoki almost taken out, but in their KO attempts, they forgot that Bloom was still there, and the score is evened up.
Yeah, and Yoki throwing a little bit of a heart, recognizing that he was the receiving end of every single ability from Quest Esports, staying alive for so long. Such incredible stuff.
Yeah, and that survival combined with Moom always being there has the flip as well. Looking for 2 barriers. Lilybun will only allow 1. Now Drew Danger stepping up a little bit. Trying to get on the offense with the log, but no, it is just constant pressure coming down. But Yoki is staggered, so we'll have to be so careful. Lilybun with the build different Cyber Swipe will take him off the map.
Yeah, and what a great Cyber Swipe. That's the advantage of that eject button as, oh my god, Maloom full HP to nothing in 2 seconds. Evil Drew Danger is going to have his core flip here as now fighting to try and get something forward. Yoki once again on the map trying to, get something going as that turret was dropped from Lilybun, but there's both barriers. And, oh my god, Switch throwing out that slice and dice, trying to get something here as that was a great combo. A little pass up from Hamster into the Zentaro passive dash into his core flip and sends it right past Evil Drew Danger.
Yeah, and right now the damage is disrupting Powerhouse defenders a little bit too much. It's always one person who's under pressure and the other has to really just get into those awkward situations to try and score. But even then, the combo, the hit stun into the stun from Hamster Quest, so much damage coming out. Yoki is staggered as well, and with more awakenings coming down, this damage is only going to get even stronger.
Yeah, and it's just so crazy. Like you sit here, you look at their health bars, you blink, you look away for 2 seconds, they are cracked, and Yoki getting cracked, getting sent instantly off the map. Nice little pass from Switch down to Hamster Quest, and I can't imagine this draft is going to be very friendly towards the side of Powerhouse defenders.
Yeah, especially with Device coming up first, uncontested, can pick the extra special right here. We'll take it away. No, opts for the Deadeye instead? No, extra special definitely the better pick here. Aimi instead going to opt for the Deadeye, which makes a lot of sense. The Dubu probably going to take away the prime time here. No, it takes the Replicator, sees a way out with the healing, but a Replicator from a full health Dubu on a no HP Zentaro might not be enough, I gotta say, because it works off the orb pickup player's health.
Yeah, and honestly, that Replicator pickup looking to play a little bit of a long game there. Maybe he gets some cooldown orbs. Maybe he gets some Orb Dancer. I mean, at this, he's going to need to roll something in this next draft that will come up after this point.
Yeah, but importantly, Yoki, taking off the map now, picks up the big fish for double size, but maybe that just makes him a little bit more killable knockback-wise. I don't know. So that extra stagger, though, will help a little bit at the very least. Drew Danger taken low. No Powerhouse Pauldrons for this Powerhouse defender, as the momentum boots will be taken off quite often against this damage comp.
You told me where you were going to do that one, and I was ready for it, but it still hurt. It still hurt.
Yeah. Just like it
just
hurt
a little.
when you were in the Star GG chat in a different tournament and you made like the 50th Ligma joke.
Oh, you know what? It's okay because Yoki is going to get a barrier maybe sometime. As now Evil Drew Danger is sitting here trying to fight for his life. I mean, call him BGs the way he is trying to stay alive. He's staying alive right now. I messed that one up. I was working on that one the entire time, but he's dead. He's off the map as now Hamster's going to get that one in for free.
Yeah, and that's just the power of this damage yet again. They just have so much of it. The Deadeye's extra special, the prime time on the Zentaro all stacking up, and even the goalie with the go zone extra damage reduction is not safe at all.
Not safe at all, but Maloom going to have the core flip here, forced to use it because Hamster almost gets his own barrier with a little bit of that supernova from the Vice, as now Switch here on the bottom side, forced to use that core flip. Actually gains a decent amount of healing from popping in on multiple members of Powerhouse defenders. As now Maloom using the warp, Rose Warp, trying to get it forward as Switch sitting here and little bit of a core into the center. Gravity Well going to take Maloom off the map with that damage. And now the entirety of Quest Esports here trying to get this top barrier. Yoki is going to have flip here. There's the Tofu Fortress from Evil Drew Danger. And now the piercing shot coming out. And Yoki forced to use his core flip, and that's the second time that a Powerhouse Defenders member is forced to use the core flip because of Hamster Quest.
Yeah, that's Vice, a character that definitely forces those evades, forces those core flips. Hamster using it to great effect here as Lilybun passing it up with the glitch pop, but Maloom looking for the barrier, gets it, and this is the one opportunity for the Powerhouse Defenders. They need to capitalize on that striker advantage, but as that ends, The ones who get more damage on are Quest Esports. They are looking for a KO onto Moon here. They might not even need it if they can get that core control in the center. Lilybun, a little small IME, so any fast to sell shots might just go right past. But that eject button doing a lot for the midfield control. The fadeaway glitch pop almost enough, but not enough against Evil Dude Danger.
And Evil Dude Danger doing such a good job holding that one, making sure that he didn't wait, but Yoki with the slice and dice, sending it right past Lilybun. The core was moving a little slow there and gets a well-needed point for his team.
Well-needed point, and their meters are looking much better than before. Bloom has so much to work with. Yoki has the flip, the double barriers. He'll take those any day of the week, but Hamster Quest with a nice mix-up. Nice primary against Evil Dude Danger, getting the barrier. Bloom looking for a snipe, but Hamster Quest is going in and looking for that barrier. Hits around it, unfortunately, but Switch continues the offense.
And now Yoki sending that one forward, using his core flip, and ooh, Maloom almost getting that one. Used the Crystal Thorns just a little too early. Lilybun able to hit that one away while not having to worry about them. And Hamster gonna get the kill on Evil Dude Danger here with a little power core, popping the Supernova and sends it right through.
Well weighted on the Supernova. Doesn't care about taking damage, doesn't care about getting the immediate KO, because that faith in Switch, the comms, to wait for that pass in, wait for the perfect moment to get both the KO and the goal.
Now Powerhouse Defenders really going to need to get something working here and want to pop these barriers early, keep the core on the other side, because Yoki taking so much damage in this midfield here, trying to get it forward, and there's a flip from Lilybun just trying to get it forward. Once again, I mean, you know, I said it multiple times with the way this game is played, you got to keep it forward on the other side, because otherwise you're taking so much damage. And Powerhouse Defenders getting it now, getting that top barrier. Yoki topping that slice and dice there, working something. Not able to get it though, even with that passive dash, as there's the Different Fortress coming out. A little bit of Supernova from Hamster Quest to throw some damage onto Yoki, but Yoki now with the time and space, Lilybun too far out, throwing down a little bit of a defensive firewall sentry there to try and stop that one center gravity well. About to come up here. No more passing signals from Maloom and Yoki now, as Switch going to send this one to the other side. Hamster knocked off on the other end, is now Evil Dude Danger going to pass to Yoki. Yoki sitting here. The piercing shot. Whoa, Maloom might have thrown that one a little too early. Yoki not allowed to cook, but all good. He holds it in place with that slice and dice and then just sends it right there with a little strike.
And what a great patient scoring opportunity from Yoki. Knows that this is only one chance that he'll get out of not too many. Got to make them count. Has to use a lot of meter here, but gets the top barrier for it. And now Powerhouse Defenders activated. It seems like maybe that orb replicator scaling will come into play in a big way soon.
Wow, and a great Different Fortress able to catch that one as it was going to pop the middle and sends it right to the other side. And now Yoki doing a little bit of a mix-up. Almost a great combo with Maloom there into that piercing shot, sending it to the other side, but this one's going to roll back. Yoki and Maloom both low on HP. Maloom trying to play their lives here, as Yoki going to get sent off with that Supernova once again. So Evil Dude Danger does has his core flip here. A little bit of a nice defensive tool, but I'm not even sure what happened there, but Maloom somehow gets that one past Lilybun. I think that it got hit into the center. Maloom might have got sent up and somehow redirected it into that top part of the net. And what an incredibly important win, as look at what's first Super Surge for the Centauro if they do decide to pick it.
Yeah, but this is a little bit of the main complaint with this patch, right? There are so many kill options that you cannot deny all of them. Tempo Swing, Glass Cannon 1-2, Prize Fighter, Heavy Impact, Super Surge, all on the same draft. Like, everyone's gonna get generally what they want here. The Dubu picking up the Glass Cannon, great for that defense.
Yeah, the only person who this draft looks kind of bad for is Maloom, but I guess Tempo Swing, not the worst thing in the world when you really have no way of healing yourself. Obviously taking that slick kicks, and with Hot Shot able to have so many more cooldowns, but oh my god, as I say that, Maloom and Yoki gonna get both barriers there, as now Yoki on this other side drops that Oni's Blade, and Lilybun accidentally does a little bit of own goaling there with that glitch pop, and Yoki gonna pick up both barriers and a goal.
Yeah, it looks so bad for the Powerhouse Defenders, but now they're scaling, and even though Switch gets that classic Zentaro combo, if the target is staggered, you can do anything into anything. Just smash your face on the keyboard. Like, okay, I was about to say the Powerhouse Defenders are starting to defend quite well, but that Vice, if you don't have the energy, if you're stunned up, that is just going to be the end of you. And with that striker advantage with the passing plays, Quest Esports returns the goal.
Yeah, and Yoki actually would have elusive that ult whenever you do elusive, if you do decide to use an ability to strike, you actually come out of that elusive. So he did supernova the elusive, then struck the core and was sent off the map because of it. A bit of an unfortunate sequence, as once again there's that supernova damage doing so much, but Yoki trying to fight for his life here, as Bloom on the other side is going to get that barrier. And I'm not even sure how he didn't hold that one with his ult there, as now Evil True Danger going to pass this one up to Maloom. Hamster is a little staggered here. There's the Firewall Sentry. Yoki trying to get this kill onto Hamster. A Gravity Well about to respawn. Maybe a little bit of a nice kill, nice pop onto, oh my god, Maloom throwing those Crystal Thorns forward, forcing Lily to use Core Flip. There's the Supernova from Hamster Quest, not popping the center. The center Gravity Well is still up, making it so difficult for both teams to play around this. Now Yoki here using that Super Suit advantage, trying to get it forward, doesn't catch the core with that Slice and Dice, and now it comes back to Maloom and Evil Drew Danger. Evil Drew Danger does have his core flip here, able to core flip it forward, sends it, but Lilybun able to catch it with that glitch pop. Excellent reaction there, as now they're dropping the Firewall Sentry. Oni's Blades coming out from Yoki and finds it with that Zentaro passive up to the top. Lilybun, nothing they're able to do there, as they just blew their cooldowns.
Yeah, great find by Yoki. Realizes we don't need to keep ping pong here. I'm not going to win against an Aimi turret, so might as well just send it to the top side where that Aimi can reach. And now the Powerhouse defenders are looking for the offense with that flip, with that blink, and Bloom looking for the top barrier. But Lilybun so good on the defense with these Aimi primaries, with these strikes against the Crystal Thorns as well. But the flip from Bloom will be a little too challenging, too much to cover there, and that barrier will go down.
Yeah, and right now it looks like how fast can Quest Esports kill the members of Powerhouse Defenders before they lose both their barriers. As once again, both barriers down. Hamster Quest about to have his core flip here, but Yoki trying to, work it through. Hamster popping that Supernova, spacing Yoki out a little, is going to pop the center here. There's a power cord coming out, as Switch now sends this one down to the bottom side. Double core flip here, honestly triple core flip from the members of Quest Esports, as there's one from Switch SSB, is going to get the barrier. I don't know why that struck at the speed of sound. The core was not moving anywhere, and somehow Switch SSB is going to send that one at the speed of light, and now it is going to get hit up to Yoki, and there's a little bit of Zentaro Slice and Dice passive into the core, not able to get it past. There's a little bit of supernova action, and there's another Oni's Blade coming out from Coach Yoki, trying just to hold the core. Bloom and Yoki trying to play their lives here. Yoki has no elusive here in this stage, but a Hamster with the Chain Lightning from that power cord is going to get that one through, and I'm still so confused as to why Switch sent that core so fast.
Yeah, and I think there's like this interaction where if you stop the core after flip, it like stores. I don't know, I just heard some crazy things about it. I'm not going to say anything because I don't really know, but Evil True Danger displaying why that Dubu wall is so good against the Aimi turret, just completely stuffing it out. Now the offensive set from Quest Esports will have to go with some good strikes. Has the meter, never mind, no good strike necessary, just a flip. And now Hamster Quest looking for that pass to Switch, as Switch is just murdering Drew.
Drew having to play his life here, and there's his last resort. His flip is gone. Is going to get a little bit of HP here. Still staggered. Needs to kind of wait it out until he can get unstaggered. There's Hamster Quest dropping the Supernova. And whoa, Evil True Danger coming a little too far out of his net there. Almost dying for it. Is going to get hit by the Thunderstruck into the power cord. And Hamster is going to send him off the map. Bloom now having to play goalie here as Switch and Hamster sitting here. Hamster holding his abilities there. Holding the strike. And Lilybun coming forward trying to shove it through. There's another kill from Hamster, and Switch gonna get this one through with a little bit of slice and dice action and send us to our third carousel.
Yeah, and it's a set that was looking so good for the Powerhouse defenders, but in the end the damage came through yet again for the side of Quest Esports. And that Orb Dancer will be denied from the Dubu, but the Dubu will be able to pick up some consolation prizes of maybe the stacks or the peak performance, anything to move faster or stay alive. Might even go for the missile propulsion here, but probably not.
Yeah, he really needs to stay alive. Honestly, peak performance or stacks. I mean, I think you have to take stacks. Oh, or not. Okay, he's not going to take anything. Instead, opting for bulk up here. Going to give him some more power. Going to give him some more stagger. But I don't know how I like giving stacks to Lilybun. Lilybun able to move throughout the map so much already with that eject button. And the fact that they have Deadeye too to be able to put so much pressure on the map. I think it'll be crazy, but it might not matter if Yoki sitting on this other side is going to 1v1 people to the end of the earth.
Yeah, and a slight pickup that might make the big difference here is Bloom's fire up. That extra meter on round start might just be the difference maker in terms of having enough evades to weather out the storm that is Quest Esports right now. And right now, the offense from Powerhouse Defenders looking quite good. Evil Do Danger walking all the way up to do the offense, but loses the barrier in the process, loses both, and now has to be so much more careful.
Yeah, and it's the idea of a little bit of an unfortunate situation there as Switch gonna get that one through, and I guess it's the idea of if Quest Esports can't kill Powerhouse Defenders, then Powerhouse Defenders is just gonna get these barriers for free on the other side.
Yeah, and they just kind of have to look for those barriers as fast as possible, right? But right now, Quest isn't even KOing them. They're just winning the strike wars or winning the interaction. And Switch is the one almost getting KO'd. The flip deflected by Drew Danger, but Switch managing to stay alive for the moment as both barriers taken by a great shot by Yoki. And now they're looking for the goal here. The roles kind of reversed a little bit as Switch is looking for that core control, trying not to get KO'd here.
Yeah, and Hamster Quest is gonna have his core flip here. Is a little zooming because of those orbs, and there's the core flip from Evil Drew Danger, somehow finding it past the Firewall Sentry. Back to Maloom. Maloom sitting here on the top side is gonna pop that center, almost gets it past, and there it is. Oni's Blade from Coach Yoki is gonna send that one right past Lilybun. An important pickup, a nice first point for this set.
Yeah, and that's just a little bit of unfortunate impatience, right? Lilybun could have just waited because that Zintaro's special is only going to send it one way. Throws out the glitch pop early, and the special gets a weird redirect down. So they'll have to be getting these barriers here yet again, and Switch getting both barriers. What a play, and the KO as well. And that point for Quest Esports was over in almost 10 seconds.
Yeah, and that's the power of that Supernova. Hamster Quest able to come forward with that extra special every time, built different, plus the fact that he has heavy impact. I mean, he's dealing so much damage with it, and he has it every round start too. There it is. There's the Supernova once again. Is going to have core flip here, but Yoki going to pop the core flip instead first as, oh my god, someone gets sent off the map. Switch SSB dying to a piercing shot from Bloom, as now Yoki on this bottom side trying to get something working here, trying to force the flip out of Hamster Quest, but Hamster Quest going to lose the barrier without flipping, and now he's going to need to flip here, but doesn't have a great angle as the center gravity well. It did come back up. Yoki going to pop that center to gravity well. Evil Drew Danger going to lose a top barrier for it, and now both members of Powerhouse Defenders are going to try and get this goal here on the Amy. There's that extra special coming in clutch for Hamster Quest, throwing out another Supernova, getting some damage out of Yoki, but Switch SSB going to find a kill onto Bloom here on this top side, and now Evil Drew Danger really needs to play his life here, really needs to play around the fact that his core flip is going to pop it off rip, goes back to Hamster, and now Coach Yoki is going to try and stall.
Yeah, and it's a little bit telling of the pace of the game so far when Drew is forced to use that missile propulsion Dubu wall on the defense, right? Not what you want to see here, but Switch is really low, heals all the way up to unstaggered though, gets the barrier with the core flip. And now it's looking quite good for Quest Esports if they can get a play. The glitch bot sends it past Bloom. Lilybun's in there with the flip and finds the bottom pocket, and that will be the win for Quest Esports.
Yeah, in Quest Esports, I mean, they just picked the full damage comp, right? You think about it, right? You have the Dubu versus this Amy in net, and the Amy's just going to give you so much more damage compared to this Dubu. And damage indeed, as I'm sure if we look at the stats here, we're going to see some ridiculous totals. Switch SSB putting up 47k, Hamster Quest putting up 41k, and Lilybun adding a little bit of 8,000 damage difference between Evil Drew Danger.
Yeah, the damage was huge here, but it's also important to note that even in the points where they didn't get the KOs, they still were able to find opportunities just off core control alone. You saw Switch in there getting both barriers with the strike and then the primary, so definitely a well-coordinated team that's definitely improved so much since when they first got together.
Yeah, and even crazier, look at the KO difference. Only 4 coming out from the side of Powerhouse Defenders, while Quest Esports had a 19 total. I mean, that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, but I guess that's what you expect when you pick Vice and Zentaro. The dynamic duo and a built different Aimee sure doesn't hurt as well, you know?
It doesn't hurt indeed, as I'm sure that Quest Esports still has a lot left to show us.
Yeah, they're definitely a team that's a bit hard to place, right? They're improving over and over, but so far they haven't had that breakout big win moment. They've made it to the bracket stage of the Primetime Tuesdays quite a few times, but not much past that. So definitely looking to show that they can take the next step, maybe even make it into the North American Strikers League.
Now, for Powerhouse Defenders, they are still going to make that bracket stage. However, they will be on, from what I imagine, most likely the loser side of it. So, if you're Quest Esports right now, you're sitting in a great position. You know, you sit and you won all your games. You're sitting happy here. You think that, hey, maybe I'll be the top seed on the other side here.
Yeah, Quest is looking good with a 4-0 series count, so definitely guaranteed to be on the winner side in quite a good place as well, because it looks like no other team is 4-0.
Yeah, if that's the case, then they got that first seed locked in the bag. I mean, that's the highest chance that they're gonna have to be able to make it to this liftoff stage. And uh, realistically, I definitely think that they put in the effort, right? They Quest Esports, known as the scrim team. They have scrimmed almost like every week, more than I would have to imagine every other team in the game currently. Like if you ask Quest Esports for a scrim, they got you up. So I'm really proud of the effort that they've put in, and I'm excited to see what they do next.
Yeah, definitely. And when I was talking with Bozo Bunch before this tournament, they were like, "Oh, we need to find scrim partners," and I was like, "Yeah, just ask Hamster Quest. Quest Esports is always scrimming. Like they're scrimming everyone, and you gotta really respect that work ethic." But for now, as the bracket finishes up, we'll cut it to a break. As that is it for us. Daftgrass, where can people find you?
Look, guys, I do have a Twitch stream. It is twitch.tv/daftgrass. You can find me there every single day, somewhere around 11 o'clock to 1 p.m. EST. I normally start my stream then. Obviously, I play in tournaments. I'm a Pro League player. One of the best to do it. So, if you ever feel free, just come by, say hello.
Yeah, and I'm Saya. You could find me here on twitch.tv/BestieInSlot, running the tournament streams, occasionally casting. Not the greatest, but good enough, I would say. And yeah, it was good to watch these great games, especially the most recent one, Quest Esports taking over Powerhouse Defenders. But the bracket stage will be up next, the first round at least. The rest of it will be tomorrow, so don't go anywhere.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to Launchpad. We had to make a lot of pre-launch adjustments before we got started with our Top Cut phase today. My name is K-Bot, and I am joined by Borg, casting his final event before he takes about a month and a half long break. Borg, how's it going for you this afternoon?
Good, feel pretty good. Got a little sleep in, stayed up late last night, was busy, playing a little bit of duo queue, or should I say abusing it to its fullest extent. Definitely should not be re-added to the game. I'm going to make my claim there. That is where I stand on the duo queue of Omega Strikers. It is not healthy. Challenger up. But regardless, woke up, got some athletic greens in my system, some AG1. Any knowers know. Got a little chest workout in, took a shower. Now we're here. I mean, I'm ready to go, K-Bot. How about you?
I rolled out of bed about 1 p.m. It is now 4:30 p.m. and have been sitting in staff call watching the tournament progress along. So sounds like your day was a lot more productive than mine, but nonetheless, a lot of interesting storylines as we take a look here, including around these two teams are going to watch in our round one. It's the Bozo Bunch versus Chikara. And Chikara is the team that was able to knock off Powerhouse Defenders in the first round of the day today. And Bozo Bunch has also been going on a pretty decent run through the Swiss stage. Now, these two teams face off against one another in a best of 3 to decide who moves on to winners semifinals. And that winners semifinals match will be a qualification match. So, 2 out of 8 of the teams that go 2-0 in these best of 3s will just move on to qualify for liftoff happening in 2 weeks, which is exactly what they're looking to do today. So, Borg, this one should be pretty interesting to watch, especially with a lot of players that I think not many folks are familiar with.
Yeah, definitely a lot of lesser-known names, we'll say. I mean, if you play solo queue, especially at that Diamond Challenger level, I think you've probably seen a bunch of these players here and there. Basically, a lot of up-and-coming players. A couple players, one of them, Fem Bison, who's on the cast, or aka Basif in-game, I'm pretty sure is on Bozo's, the Bozo Bunch, I believe is their team name. So yeah, at least a familiar name for us here on cast. So I'm excited to see how they perform, especially. Otherwise, I'm just excited to see the game progress. I'm really excited. A lot of these, I guess, up-and-coming teams, up-and-coming players, some of the big ones, Oshino Core Flip has been a big one. Now Quest Esports coming in, just dominating Swiss. So yeah. I'm excited to see all these up-and-coming teams. And I'm also, now that I'm leaving for about a month and a half on Tuesday, coming back, I wonder what everything's going to look like. It's going to feel all foreign for me. So I'm excited to kind of get a taste of it right now on this last kind of, day and today and tomorrow, just to see what's going on and then come back stronger, see kind of the new guard, I guess.
We'll see, of course. Remember, even if teams don't end up qualifying for the primary North American Strikers League, they'll also have the chance to qualify for the Tier 2 League, which there will be more details coming out in the future. But instead, our first game here is going to be on Atlas's lab. It will be Bozo Bunch in the blue and Chikara in the red. As we see the bans come through, it will be Zentaro and Rasmus taken away here on Atlas's lab.
Yeah, definitely not surprised. Both extremely strong characters on this map. Very, very kill-heavy map in general. So, take the Rasmus away. Don't want to get hooked into that gravity well. Take the Zentaro away. Don't want to get 100-0 on every single combo, basically. So, not surprised. So we're going to see the X, actually, and the Julie on the other side. So, a little bit of an old-school matchup. X versus Julie. Definitely excited it's coming back slightly into meta here. I like when X is playable. I don't like when he's OP. I don't think anybody does, but definitely a little playable here. And then we actually get the Kai era with, the separate brawlers. So it's really just going to depend on the Awakening drafts, I think, for this game.
A little bit, or pretty darn close to the mirror matchup across the board. Of course, Kai Fangirl playing this era has been playing a pretty aggressive era on the whole, so that'll be something to look out for here. As we take a look, it is Perfect Form Super Surge as our starter Awakenings. 5 perfect forms here. Quite surprising, I think, overall, Borg, considering that we're not seeing that Super Surge come out. But hey, in a lot of cases, it does make sense.
Yeah, I think perfect form for the most part is definitely better here, except on Era, I say, especially with the recent buffs to the Era secondary on that speed, Super Surge is going to be getting so much value as an early KO here onto the Juliet. That was actually, fairly quick, but they do lose their barriers for it. Probably will be getting one in response, possibly getting the other one, not quite. Dropletto unable to secure that second one. Oh, but Kai Fangirl does it for him.
Now, Ladania looking for the clear. Core flip comes out of Dropletto. Nice barrage keeps them in the top corner, and Kai Fangirl is back as well. But a Giga Blast will connect, allowing for this power play even still, and the pressure continues to mount. There's the Giga Blast again, helps keep it in this corner, and Dropletto is there to put the core back. First goal on the board for the Bozo Bunch.
Yeah, these Giga Blasts just so crucial already. Juliet dying twice. Just in that first set already, level 1. Still gets to level 2 already, which is nice, not being too far behind. So definitely a chance here for Chikara to, I guess, stay in this. But Bozo Bunch with a really strong lead and already getting both barriers again.
And a KO coming through as well, actually for the side of Chikara. Fembison went a little too far forward there, went a little too far in, and was punished for it, but not punished too much as the goal gates are still online. We see Chikara still looking for that lower goal barrier as the Maelstroms come out of each era. Doesn't really find much of anything, and now Fembison collects the core, sends it up to the top side. Mercuro looking for the KO, can't find the finishing blow. We'll be once again looking back for the core. Now Fembison forward here. Once again, the rotation comes through as Dropletto low on stagger. Maelstrom will interrupt the passing play here, and I will continue to keep possession on the front lines. Still looking forward for it. It's Mercuro forced to use the defensive core flip. And again, it seems like the passing plays and everything are coming through right now for the Bozo Bunch. Now, though, goal barrier falls on the other side. Mercuro can't quite find the collection on the dash. Looks for the shot to the bottom corner, sent away by Fembison. And now, once again, looking for it. Weak Maelstrom will sweep through the field, but will find nothing in the process. And now another KO comes through. Dropletto take it off the pitch. There's the barrage out. Kai Fangirl will core flip to the top corner. And now Chikara equalizes the game.
Yeah, once the X went down, there's not too much that Fembison could have done there. Great, actually, barrage down to that bottom side to force the core flip out of Kai Fangirl, getting at least a little bit of compensation for that point. 1-1. Definitely looking like an extremely close game. Fembison playing so incredibly aggressively on this Kai, sometimes to the detriment, as we see there, losing both barriers, stepping a little bit too far forward. And I think we need to see this X, like I was about to say, get a little bit more involved, start getting these KOs, really just start putting so much pressure on the field as, make room for the era, make room for Fembison to be playing that aggressively.
Goal barriers here went down very early, and now they're about to go down again. Nice dash, actually denies the core flip. Now Barrage comes out to deny the other one. Beautiful defense out of Chikara, even when their goal gates are down, but you can't capitalize on that one there, as Dropletto is still in position to strike the core back in the 1v1, and Vladania does not have that barrage out.
Yeah, and this is kind of just, it's really the similar strategy for both sides. It's just how they do it will be slightly differently through the Juliet or through the X, but find an early KO, find early pressure, with that Tornado doing just that right now. Allow the Kais to walk forward and get involved in that offensive play. And then from there, you can just slowly steamroll the opponent, as you're seeing right here, Dropletto just using all that pressure with the X ult to just grab both barriers extremely quick.
We'll be looking for it again here. Dash punch doesn't connect and find the KO as Mercuro is low on that stagger. But with both goal barriers down, it's only a matter of time here. Dropletto up to the top corner, passes back down to I. The Maelstrom will come through, sweep across, and it will cause enough of a misposition for the X Maximus to secure the job, and the Bozo Bunch will take the first set.
An exceptional positioning right there from Dropletto, don't mind my pun. But just really, really great positioning from the X and awareness to stay open, pretty much the whole game for the era on the side of Bozo Bunch to pass to them over and over again and going to be rewarded with that quick strikes. Very, very strong training here on the X. A couple things he could have taken here, maybe extra special, maybe catalyst, but I digress. Stacks on stacks going to be going over as well to Vladilena. Going to be very, very strong here. Monumentalist, definitely a very underrated, I'd say, training overall, but on era, especially on these closed maps, going to be looking very, very dangerous. And one more thing to note is the extra special on Fembison. These Gigas already are doing a lot, and with specialized training still in the pool of trainings, you got to keep in mind, with this extra special, might be setting himself up for, setting himself up for success here with that extra special early on.
A lot of very notable trainings here for the Bozo Punch, and now you see the quick strikes. X with the X Maximus punches one away and gets Moriyuko low, looking for the shot into the net, but it will be denied. As we still see this Juliet stagger. Barrage comes out, interrupts things for a moment, and now Dropletto looks to dash forward again on the Bull Rush. Can't connect with the core for now, and a nice Maelstrom will interrupt things and temporarily interrupt the tempo that Bozo Bunch was playing with for a bit of time, but the KO is found once again by Dropletto on the Bull Rush. X Maximus will wear off, and Kai Fangirl looking to try to keep this one away. Strike War won by Vladania on the back lines. The Maelstrom comes out again, but now it's I that finds the KO with the Bewitching Beam. There's the core flip forward as Fembison once again getting involved on the play. It enables Dropletto to continue striking the core back.
Yeah, that round was all Bozo Bunch just from the get-go. The amazing KO from X with the combo into the ult with that with the dash into the ult there from X. And then just followed up with the quick strikes actually with that ult, finding both those barriers, but with the new quick strikes buff, getting 2 extra energy per strike, just gets core flip immediately. Like, take a look at X right here. They lose both barriers. However, take a look at the X, going to be getting so much energy just already, even like at the round start. So definitely something to be looking at all game. However, Chikara making a stand here a little bit this time, getting low, but getting both barriers for it. Ooh, the core flip not going to quite get that KO from Dropletto. Kai Fangirl just living on a prayer right now as Vladilin is trying to make a play, trying to play forward. Ooh, Juliet almost finding that angle, but Fembison just on top of it right now.
There's the strike shot, sending it away from Ryoko once again, but there's the core flip as I sends it back the other way. Dropletto will find another KO and yet another power play opportunity. I will take it themselves with the Bewitching Beam down to the bottom corner, and it is once again set point for the Bozo Bunch. This is like 4 goals in a row for them at this point.
I mean, the pressure is just surmounting on Chikara, right? Chikara just cannot hold on to their lives, right? Cannot hold on to their health bars. And yeah, sure, they might get a couple good plays with Fembison playing up a little far, finding a couple of these barriers early on. But, I mean, just take a look at the health bars right now already. Kai Fangirl has no energy, no HP. Dropletto's hunting right now, has that ult soon. Ooh, unable to find the bell ringer for the KO, but should be getting it right here. Yep, I actually the one securing that kill. So just Bozo Bunch is doing an amazing job of actually getting so much pressure out early. As we see here, another X Maximus with the quick strikes going to be finding another KO.
Finds the other KO, but Fembison looking to pass it forward. There's the core flip finally comes through from Dropletto, once again punching it back. I feel like I keep seeing the same thing happen over and over again. Once a few KOs go down, the X gets in position in that goal box, and it is for sure going in. And now this is a pretty big carousel here, Borg, with both size awakenings online, 1-2 punch and heavy impact.
Yeah, expect the X to be taking built different here. Takes the 1-2 punch actually, so not a bad move for sure. I mean, not surprised fully. A little surprised, but I think built different, definitely a little bit more value overall with that size on X being such an important stat, and also leaving it now open, or at least one of the size trainings open for the Juliet here. So not going to be taking that either. Both Juliet and no brawlers taking size trainings. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I feel like brawlers with size trainings are a little bit broken right now, but maybe they're just too focused on the damage aspect, as, the 1-2 punch from the X going to be doing a lot of damage. Very strong training on the character, probably one of the best, but
I mean,
is it better than built diff? I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
If you're Dropletto, it's not like you're having difficulty finding the KOs, and 1-2 punch will just make you get those KOs a little bit quicker, right, I suppose. And Moriyuko probably just looking to help give a little bit more extra cooldowns to that dash punch. And look, there it is, coming through once, 1-for-1 trades. Equalize this one and neutralize the power play. Now, goal barrier still fall down. Vladania looking to get involved, just like we saw Fembison doing. Now the dash punch tries to come in, and it will be the goal secured for Chikara. Moriyuko on this Juliet.
And this might have been the carousel to get Chikara back into the game, right? We see Kai Fangirl getting that fire up. Already has the catalyst, so getting a lot of energy, energy bursts, I guess, online throughout this game. And now fire up, buffing back up to 25% now that infinite trainings are gone. Might be important here, the Kai getting that orb replicator, excuse me, not the orb replicator, the orb ponderer. So over time will be important, but that point just went so incredibly fast. I mean, both barriers down immediately, and then with the energy burst from Fembison, just getting it to that top corner, Dropletto finishing it off.
That's the quick rocket science thinking that we want to see over here at Launchpad, with all the angles that were coming in, down to the bottom side, right on up to Dropletto perfectly, and then the strike in to the top corner. But now looking for this again, and they'll find it. Dropletto with the X Maximus, and I has the core flip as well. We'll slip it right underneath the feet of Ladania, and all of a sudden it is game point for the Bozo Bunch.
Yeah, maybe that first point was a bit of a fluke. You know, I might have been harping on a little too much, searching for narratives here as the game is basically almost over. Very, very quick one so far. You know, still chance for Chikara. Like I said, they've seen some signs of life, like right here getting both right, I guess, energy burst there. Going to allow Julie to get that energy burst as well with the fire-up training. Both barriers down for the Bozo Bunch. Gonna have to play a little bit more careful as FemBison, great positioning, able to get the save, but the barrage actually getting it in for Vladilena. Wow. I mean, that was definitely a very, very heads-up play there. Great flip from Kai Fangirl there to actually keep them in this game. It's 2-2.
It is 2-2 here, and it feels like the other part and the other component of this is these forward and aggressive Kais. When they're actually coming through and being successful, they are so impactful to the offense of each of these teams. But with KOs happening now, another one off the map. That one's going to strike the other barrier as well. Kai Fangar looks for the Bewitching Beam to pick it up, but won't be there in time. Now looking for the strike, and it goes right by. That's down to the bottom corner, and Chikara is going to keep the game alive.
Am I just the caster curse itself? I mean, every time I talk
probably
about it, the opposite happens. So, and this is not an uncommon thing. This happens every single time. So, don't know what to say here. I mean, Chrono Boost going to be the reward. Actually, Castellas as well. So it will be Castellas Chrono Boost going over to both eras, I do believe. The Juliet probably going to be getting the pick of the litter. Probably tempo swing if I were to imagine. Yep, the Kai kind of gets whatever he wants here. I mean, the pretty important draft actually. FemBison getting the specialized training with the extra special. This is going to be very huge. But on the other side of the map, you know, Vladilena with the Orb Dancer already has the Orb Ponderer. Let's take a stat count. 6 stacks on those orbs right now. So if they can take this set, Chikara, Orb Replicator is still in the pool. So Orb Replicator with double orb might be game ending as we get an already early KO on 2i.
Great one there, but now it's a question of actually being able to capitalize on as Dropletto is being a nuisance in the middle of the map. Able to find some of those interruptions. Now for the barrage used out of FemBison, it goes right around the barrier. They're not able to find it there. Ladania, again, looking for the barrage forward. Now the Maelstrom comes out as again. Fouled Kai Fangirl, taken down incredibly low. Now we'll be right back online. There's the KO. Mercurio able to find that onto Dropletto, and it goes back on over to the blue side of the pitch. Now passing, but Kai Fangirl low on stagger. There's the connection with the barrier off of the wall. Now the pass forward, looking for the shot, can't find it there. Gigablast comes out, and the pressure's just too much with the dash coming through from the Juliet once again. And Chikara might have found some kind of recipe that works, or Borg, at least they're finding the early KOs.
Yeah, and the recipe is Castellas era with a triple stack prize fighter heavy impact tempo swing Juliet. I see, it kind of makes sense now why the Juliet preferred the, I guess, the heavy impact over the big fish here. I forgot, the Juliet has prize fighter, and if you can get that thing stacked up, that's an extra 75 power you're getting for your character, and with heavy impact multiplying all of that, it just gets a little bit insane. As a great save there from Vladilena, going to be kind of really, really hot going into this next round. 30 seconds have gone by and everything is gone as the core flip comes through as I finds the top corner. Vladilena not quite able to get there. Dropletto there just for insurance, and it's 1-1. I mean, this is a banger of a game now. We got ourselves a game.
This is going the distance here. And remember, folks, this is a best of 3, so we're in for more regardless of what happens in this game. As now Dropletto finds the Bull Rush and the Bell Ringer combination. Will dodge away from some of the extra oncoming stagger, and Bewitching Beam once again sends the core right around the goal barrier. Gets picked up on the left. Dropletto in position. Likely has the X Maximus online here as well. Will bull rush forward, but there's enough of a presence here from Chikara interrupting the connection between I and Dropletto, and that'll be at least what causes a disruption for now. Core flip back down to I. Ladania also meeting the core down there on the bottom side of the pitch. Here comes Dropletto, once again looking for it. We'll look for the redirection, but now it's right back up. Maelstroms exchanged, and now it's I on the fire up with the core flip. Able to find the barrier, though, as Kai Fangirl on the stuff, and Dropletto comes away with the goal from beyond. That one went all around the pitchboard before it ended up finding the red net.
Yeah, classic overtime finally going through here, and Dropletto finding that very well-placed strike as the Juliet punches them off of the map. And then one thing to note here as well, I mean, I feel like, as I kind of was saying earlier, the Bozo Bunch need to end this game now, as we can see their playstyle running up forward with these barrages, with everything, just trying to throw everything at Chikara, because if Chikara can keep this game going now, Vladilena with those 10 stacked orbs and the stacks might end it here. Oh no, the gravity well stuffing the energy burst, and this is going to be a mountain to climb for Chikara, but if they can do it, they might be able to win this game.
Dropletto once again looking for another bull rush. Won't find it. Now it's Kai Fangirl getting KO'd into the red net. Forward to Dropletto, who bull rushes in again. Looking for this once more, but it's interrupted by Murioko. Here comes the Maelstrom though, and it's just too much pressure on the back lines. It'll be Bozo Bunch taking game 1 in this best of 3.
Yeah, we got everything there, K-Bot. I mean, that game was full of bangers, just absolutely. I mean, we got amazing drafts, not so amazing drafts, right? In a couple of those rounds. A lot of aggression there. Let's take a look at the stats. Yeah, we got 8 KOs on Dropletto, 5 on Murioku. So just absolutely just straight up destruction from both sides. The Bozo Bunch getting the better of it. That well-placed Maelstrom from actually just kind of sealing the deal there. Critically so, it got a little bit scary with the draft towards the end. I do believe Chikara actually did have slightly the better draft. You know, Fembison had a great draft as well, getting that impact, getting the extra special with the specialized training, made the, I guess, Giga Blast extremely potent. So, otherwise, I think great game from both sides, and we might see a game 3 here, but game 2 coming in here, I think it's all going to depend on the map.
Will likely depend on that map, and also might depend on whether or not we start to see some adjustments made in our striker select as well, as it was the Rasmus that was banned away. And I believe it was one of the players on Chikara that was playing it earlier, though that player might have been subbed out or something. They might be rotating players around while they try to figure out what's best for them. But yeah, I mean, great stuff across the board. I think both teams have a decent chunk to be proud of there. And Borg, it feels like at the end of the day, a lot of those rounds kind of ended up with which team was able to find the KO first and then was able to snowball that into enough pressure, baiting out enough cooldowns from the opposing goalie to actually find the goal in the net. And it feels like the Bozo Bunch was just able to capitalize on more of that more effectively.
Yeah, I mean, player highlight quick here is actually Dropletto, a little bit of a lesser-known name, but still actually in Omega right now. So definitely, I think the highest, if not one of the highest players in this game, if not in this tournament right now. So sitting in Omega a little bit, you know, not too many players I think have talked or heard of this guy yet. I know it's definitely been under my radar as of recent, to have found out about them recently. So, we'll get another Atlas Lab game coming in here just as we'll get into that, but definitely take a look at Dropletto throughout this game and throughout this series, really, to just make a lot of these plays, because as we saw from last game, 8 KOs, 28,000 damage on that X. Scary, scary player. Scary stuff coming out of this this team, really, in general. The Bozo Bunch coming in hot.
We're getting where the Dropletto was also Pro League for a bit, and then it was dropped down again. And now bans will change up slightly. It's the IME and X that are banned away, leaving this Rasmus open, and Dropletto will switch over to that Rasmus. Looks like I might be sticking with the Era here, and the Kai is left open as well. But Fembison electing for the Dubu, and we'll lock that in. Of course, we'll see what our Starter Awakenings were in just a moment, but quite a bit different, and there indeed is the Rasmus coming through, locked in for Chikara as well.
Yeah, and we'll have to see what the starting Awakenings here are as we get into the game. It looks like it's Fire Up. We won't even get to know the other one, as Fire Up going to be picked by everybody on this, I guess, this entire map. We get to see a little bit of a difference here. I believe it might have been an X-Bang coming through. I cannot remember. I was fooling around in chat a little bit, but as we see here, same comps, but we'll have to see a Dubu goalie this time and a Rasmus Ditto coming in here, as Japanese Box actually going to be subbed in.
Yeah. This was the player that was playing the Rasmus, and I think some of us in the staff car were like, oh, wait a minute, this Japanese Box player is kind of putting in a decent bit of work on the Rasmus. We'll see if they can do it again here in our game 2 of this best of 3 with Bozo Bunch up 1. And Achi was saying this in the Twitch chat earlier, But effectively, the winner of this series gets 3 chances at qualifying for Liftoff, which is the intermediary tournament to qualify for North American Strikers League. So the winner, there are definitely pretty decent stakes here because you have to get eliminated 3 times in a row. Dropletto finds one from downtown here, slips it right past the barrage.
Yeah, calculated hook there, I'm sure. Not quite. I'm not sure if, didn't want to actually strike after that or missing the strike, but it ended up working out in the end as it just goes right past the Kai in net. And with fire up training, we're going to be seeing a lot of core flips this game, K-Bot. I'm just going to prepare you now as both barriers. Oh, not quite both barriers going down. Great saves there, actually, from FemBison to come back and keep their cool. But we see both, I guess, core flips coming out for Japanese Box and Kai Fangirl. Japanese Box can't quite find anything as Kai Fangirl gets sent off the map. So now the energy trainings and the energy, I guess, bar is looking a little bit more in favor for the Bozo Bunch.
Yeah, they'll be charging up these energy bursts here in a moment, and soon you'll see probably a chain reaction of core flips out of them once they're maybe able to even get this barrier. Poke comes in, Eye taken down incredibly low, and Stagger will be forced to play a retreating and picks up the goal box orb. Now we'll be up to full energy. Be likely looking to cast that in a moment, giving energy burst over to the other 2 members. Another one comes out here. It was used by Vladania to try to send some of these members away, and now a KO comes through here. FemBison does have the energy burst as well and gets involved in the play. Maelstrom comes out, fires it right into the net, and the whiplash is just a little bit too late. The Bozo Bunch goes up 2-0 in the first set of Game 2.
Yeah. Bozo Bunch is looking really strong, has all of that tempo from the last game coming off a big win, and ready to put this one away 2-0, but they gotta get through these next couple sets. I mean, still need to score 1 more goal for this set as Japanese Box gets so incredibly low from the gravity well. FemBison to Dropletto trying to find this top barrier, and I guess one thing to know, as I kind of mentioned earlier, is with this fire up, we're gonna have to take a look, as the drafts go on, these Awakenings drafts, who gets the Catalyst and who gets the Egoist, and really all those are going to make a huge difference in this game. And already both barriers down for Chikara, so they're gonna have an uphill battle to climb on this last set.
Fantastic strike by Eye, by the way, to take the second barrier away from Vladania and Chikara. And now, Dropletto, looking for the dribble off the pendulum swing, will get interrupted by the Maelstrom and is low on Stagger. Kai Fangirl will use the core flip back the other direction, offering the speed up to the rest of the team. Maelstrom sweeps up to the north side of the map, but it won't find anything in the process. Now it's Vladania looking to get involved and will core flip it into the net, keeping this set close here for Chikara.
And one big difference actually in the comps here is the Dubu and the Kai. Dubu definitely not quite able to play as aggressively as the Kai overall, with Kai getting Giga Blast, Kai having that extra speed. But I will say, if they can get a tempo advantage and if they can get a KO on the side of Bozo Bunch, or actually on the side of Chikara, Bozo Bunch are going to be looking extremely strong as the Dubu walking up with that wall, going to be looking a little scary. As again, both barriers are going down for Chikara as the Corplet comes out, Eye not able to convert.
Was stuffed that time around. Maelstrom will sweep through again, pass up to Dropletto. Barrage comes out, doesn't have that cooldown online. Now the pendulum swing, looks for the shot, and Vladania is stuck in the Giga Blast trying to clear the core away. That will be the set for the Bozo Bunch. The other thing I want to comment on, you were talking a little bit more about the duo playing less aggressively, but FemBison did opt for the momentum boots instead of the powerhouse pauldrons. So with even 1 extra speed awakening, maybe if that stacks on stacks drops all the way through, it'll be enough for FemBison to start playing more aggressive.
Yeah, mainly what you'll be looking for on this, I guess, Dubu pick is those, extra ice skate speed with the glass cannon or the missile prop going to be helpful. Timeless Crater going to be helpful as well for the Dubu. We're going to be seeing all that stuff. Actually, Castle Last going to be pretty good here, making these these creations last so much longer. The stun lasts longer. Pretty solid training. We'll see stacks on stacks going over to Dropletto. And then one more thing to note is Japanese Box actually getting the build different here. So build different, very, very strong. As I said earlier, size training on Rasmus, definitely not a weak thing as we'll be going here. A little bit more damage, impact damage overall going to be happening as well. So expect Japanese Box to possibly be making a little bit more of an appearance in this next set.
First energy awakening, besides the fire up, also appeared in that carousel. It was the Catalyst dropping all the way to the 6th pick of Kai Fangirl. who will pick that up for Chikara. And now you see it coming into play already. First with the energy burst, and we'll fire it right towards the goal barrier, opting and giving a little bit of extra speed for the rest of the team. The Maelstrom will find the KO on the Fem Bison, and all that's left is the formality of putting it into the net. It will be Vladania that is credited with that goal. And this looks pretty good here, especially early momentum-wise for Chikara.
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier, right? Whoever is getting these energy trainings will probably be winning the game, if not having a big advantage, as we're seeing the fire-ups go all around. Just look at the energy. We just saw like 2 core flips, if not 3, on the side of Chikara, and Vladalina's almost has their core flip back up. It just shows the power of the starting training fire-up, as, you know, just recently buffed back to kind of what it used to be at the 25%. So very, very strong, going to be looking incredibly powerful here, as with the Catalyst as well, going to be giving Kai Fangirl so much more energy.
But hang on here, as the core flip rotations are about to come out of the Bozo bunch. I will use it first. Drop Leto looking for a little bit of extra stagger on Japanese Box, who is now cracked in trying to get sent off the pitch, but actually it's Drop Leto taken away, thanks to the pendulum swing out of Japanese Box. And now core flip used, stuffed by Kai Fangirl, but it doesn't find the barrier there. Fem Bison will actually find the KO. What a series of events with both goal barriers standing. I will finally take this one onto Vladania, and now there isn't enough defensively for this Kai on the back lines, and the goal will find its mark.
Yeah, ricocheting off of that Dubu. Well, I talked about it, right? The Dubu's goal, once they get that tempo running, they get a couple KOs, 1 or 2 of them, the Dubu can just run up for free, place that wall down, place those logs down, use them offensively, and just get so much space for it. But, you know, missing that roll here, a little bit of space missed out on, as both the barriers are going to be going down immediately. And almost a goal there as the Dubu was shrunk, but able to keep up with it just in time.
Giga Blast out. There's the core flip. Sends it back the other way from I. And now the Gravity Well spawns in, taking Kai Fangirl off of the pitch. That means the pressure's still on here for Bozo Bunch. They won't find the conversion, as possession will be handed back over to Chikara. Now, Barrage out once. Japanese Box will send it drifting towards the top side of the map. Here comes the Maelstrom for Kai Fangirl. There is the speed boost as well from the Flutterfly. And still looking for it again. Barrage out. There's the Giga Blast. Sends the core back up to the top corner. Flutterfly out of I to go back in time, but now the goal barrier will fall, the goal gates will open, and Drop Leto will find the goal there. So much to take into consideration as your goalie on those back lines there, and Vladania couldn't quite do it. But Bork, I actually have a question for you, a little bit of a build thing. Fem Bison picked up the Castellas. The Castellas Dubu for the extra stuns, theoretically, but does Castellas also impact the fire-up speed?
I actually don't know. That's a great question. I don't believe so, just off of first instinct, but it definitely could, as it is a buff. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that worked like that. I never even thought about that, so maybe someone in chat, this little stats person, can enlighten us, but it would make sense if it does do so. We'll have to keep a closer eye on it once we see the fire-up speed come through. But, I mean, both barriers down. Vladalina going to be, you know, have that core flip, so yeah, using it there, great save, but Drop Leto just applying so much pressure, doesn't even need a size training, as just so much pressure has come through this Rasmus on the side of Bozo Bunch.
Looking for it again. Here comes the core flip. Kai Fangirl looking forward towards the goal barrier. Japanese Box also, and now core flips continue to get exchanged. Here's the strike towards the net, but it's sent away again, and now the strike comes through from I in position with enough speed. The Bozo Bunch up 2-0 in sets here and looking to close this one out quickly again.
Yeah, Speed Demon era here with that recently buffed secondary. Going to be huge here, as the 20% speed buff, including the 8% speed increase from the top hat, the Stagger Swagger. Going to be huge. Egoist getting denied here from Kai Fangirl later on, as I takes that away. Definitely very, very strong. Like I said before, energy training so crucial here. Fem Bison getting the glass cannon. Ice Skates Dubu is now online, as we see Super Surge and Aerials getting picked up on Kai and Rasmus respectfully. Ponder going to get put on to Kai Fangirl, but needs to put that to use, as, you know, going to be needed to stack that up quick. As lastly, we're getting the prize fighter from Drop Leto. So Drop Leto probably going to be looking to get a lot of KOs here in this last set with this Gravity Well and with, I guess, their pendulum swing and hook combos.
Looking for it again now. Summer Assault stops the core in a very awkward, precarious position. It does clear.
Beautiful
now the Tofu
clear,
Fortress comes through. Well played by FemBison, and now the Whiplash will secure the bottom barrier. Looking for the top one. There it is. Maelstrom comes through. And now the fire up speed. There's the core flip again from I. And the chains keep on coming. With all of this speed, it's impossible to tell where any of these players are going to be born.
Yeah, that was a highlight reel level save and clear from FemBison. Definitely very, very good. We'll have to see that one again after this game because just the patience as well to not get nervous and stay with that core. Both barriers coming down. Amazing fire up flip from Dropletto and then getting the pendulum swing in. This is almost looking over as they're just steamrolling now.
Match point now for the Bozo Bunch. Again, they win here. They get 3 chances at qualification for liftoff. We'll see if they can do it with just one more goal. Core flip immediately used forward from FemBison. Will charge up I's core flip as well. There it is, right in front of the barrier. We'll connect with Maelstrom, but we'll find the barrier nonetheless. Dropletto will be next with that energy burst, but actually a Japanese box on the interruption. Here comes the speed the other direction, and now Gravity Well will also come through. Play a little bit in favor of Chikara. We'll find it. Now, there's the goal barrier again. Ooh. Bounces off both goal gates. As the clear still comes through, but the Maelstrom is there in the bottom corner. Shoves it back for the Bozo Bunch. And they will advance on the winner's side of Liftoff 1.
Yeah, amazing play there from Bozo Bunch. A little bit of deja vu on that last point, K-Bot, with the Maelstrom setting it up on the bottom corner. Happened last game, happened this game, both on Atlas Lab. Well played from the Bozo Bunch. Chikara, like I said before, had signs of life, and they had a decent draft, but it just felt like, you know, the Bozo Bunch just kind of all over them, playing a little bit more aggressively, using their speed trainings to their advantage, and just kind of steamrolling through those last 2 sets especially. So, well played from the Bozo Bunch. We'll be advancing, and not quite sure who they'll be taking on yet. We'll have to wait until the bracket kind of comes through here. But one thing to note, kind of looking at the stat screen here, is the difference in shots, I guess, from the forwards. Really 34-31 versus 20 and 28. Just having so many more offensive opportunities coming through. And just so much more pressure onto Vladilena than FemBison, as FemBison on the debut able to clear a lot more effectively than the Kai.
Other thing that stands out to me the most is Vladilena put away both goals for Chikara. And neither forward was really able to find a lot of the scoring opportunities. They found a lot of barriers, of course, but couldn't quite fully find a way to put everything together. Meanwhile, seems as though it was a more effective unit between I and Dropletto. Maybe that's a result of this team having played a little bit more consistently together or what, but nonetheless, still fantastic to see, and gives them pretty decent odds here qualifying for Liftoff. I keep getting I keep thinking for a second, figuring out whether I have to say Launchpad or Liftoff because, you know, they're similar.
Yeah.
We're in Launchpad. They're looking to qualify for Liftoff, and again, putting themselves at decent odds because now as they play tomorrow, every match, the Bozo Bunch just has to come away with a single best-of-3 victory, and they will advance. Meanwhile, of course, Chikara has the long road ahead of them in the losers bracket. And not only has that, but also, we'll have 2 chances, can go all the way through the losers or win the 5th place tiebreaker there. So, but decent number of matches to get to before we get to that point as well. A little bit of a tough road, but hey, they might have a chance to do it, especially as the team that knocked off Powerhouse Defenders early today.
Yeah, I mean, looking strong here. And as we take a look at the bracket, actually, so Bozo Bunch going to be advancing on the bottom side of that winner's bracket. Looking at the game here, it looks like Quest Esports versus Idaho Potato Farmers. That would be Quest Esports, as we saw earlier, and Idaho Potato Farmers will be Apabug, Bulby, and Kavista. Both very strong teams. It looks like Quest is up 1-0 right now in that best of 3. Still going on. The winner of that will be facing Bozo Bunch here tomorrow. As the loser, actually, I believe will be the next on stream here versus Snackin' and Smackin'. Once they finish up, we'll be kind of getting to the next game. Unless we change that up, we'll get to you guys very soon here when we do figure that out.
Okay, other thing to take a look at here is that the Powerhouse Defenders were sent from Swiss into the losers bracket. Now they go up against Chikara to stay alive in this tournament. Now, of course, with 2 Launchpad tournaments between this week and next week, there'll be another chance for each of these teams to qualify. But funny to see them go up against one another in Swiss, Jakara getting the best of them, and now they're forced to face off against one another in the best of 3. So that match will be interesting to look out for. Of course, I think Yoki's also streaming, so if you really wanted to watch that, you can pull that one up in the background, especially while we're getting our next match settled here. But yeah, a lot of decent Omega Strikers being played here, Borg. And again, we're looking for the next group of rising teams that are going to come through. And one of the narratives that we've kind of been talking about recently is more and more launch players starting to join into the higher echelons of the competitive scene. What's that kind of been like from your perspective?
Pretty fun from my perspective, pretty enjoyable. I mean, a lot of players from beta, including myself, have kind of, made their own predictions on when these players will be coming into the game, taking our spots, taking our jobs, whatever you want to say. But it seems overall, the beta players and those older players, believe it or not, with the 1,000-hour plus gameplay, that you're going to get with playing and through beta and through all of prod and release and all that stuff as well, might trump a little bit of new experience still. However, a lot of new names coming through. I definitely played with, on the last Primetime Tuesday, played with one of the new names that we've seen here on, I believe Oshino Coreflip was Pathologically Fresh. So that's one release player I've been definitely looking out for. A couple more as we see. Actually, one thing to note with, including, speaking of, I should say, Oshino Coreflip is PP Legends versus Oshino Coreflip. One of those old rosters, PP Legends versus one of the new rosters, Oshino Coreflip. They're actually 1-1 right now on their last game in this best of 3. So coming in close, and I'm not too surprised. I think Oshino Coreflip has been looking incredibly dominant in these smaller tournaments, these weeklies kind of going on. And mainly my eyes are on them, especially. I think now Bozo Bunch with that win as well. My eyes are definitely on them too coming into tomorrow. Excited to see them coming through. And with Chikara as well, I mean, not a bad team, as we talked about earlier, taking out the Power Ass Defenders, a pretty storied team throughout this, I guess, all the weeklies and all of them, making top 8 in the Omega Strikers Pro League. So, I mean, I guess the long answer to your question there, but the short answer would be, I'm very excited, again, to see these new players come up. I'm excited to see them kind of take all these roster spots, take these team spots in these leagues coming up. And when I come back from my little siesta, my little month-and-a-half long vacation, we'll be excited to see the shakeup and how things have kind of changed.
Definitely will be a lot of fun to continue watching a lot of these teams grow. And look, even if these teams don't get the chance to qualify here, we'll get to watch a lot of these teams continue to develop in a tier 2 league that's also in the works. So even if the top 10 teams only will be the teams qualifying for the North American Strikers League, there's going to be a league underneath them that'll give these teams that higher level competitive experience, the ability to continue planning for their opponents and things of the sort there. So that'll be a lot of fun to be on the lookout for as well. And that's all on the line here today and next week as well. Folks, by the way, if you got knocked out today or you're, just watching the action being like, what in the world's going on? There's another one of these things happening next week. Borg won't be here, but the rest of us will be. So sign up for that one. You can find more details on the Start GG page on the very same bracket page that this one is on. So make sure you're paying attention and staying tuned for more information getting released, not only about next week's event, but also about that tier 2 league, and see if that interests you for getting involved here at all. Folks, we are going to take a real brief break before we continue on. We'll be watching one more match today, and then we'll be saving the rest of the bracket for tomorrow. So don't go anywhere. We've got one more best of 3 on the loser side, as these teams are still looking for that liftoff qualification right after this break. Welcome back, everybody, to Launchpad number 1, day number 1, where we've got one more best of 3 remaining today. We'll be watching Idaho Potato Farmers versus Snackin' and Smackin', 2 teams once again looking to stay alive in this tournament and looking towards league qualification later on. Borg, how are we feeling about this one?
Will be pretty interesting. I think, I'm really not sure because I know of most of these players. I've coached Ariel Snack a bunch, so hopefully a student can make me proud. But I also know that Bulby, Kavista, and Applebug, definitely names I've seen a lot more in solo queue in that like challenger range of rank. So I'm excited to see it. I'm definitely expecting Idaho Potato Farmers to pick this one up, as they do have the better record. They did, they went 0-2 against Quest Esports, but the game took a while. So I'm assuming that was because, they put them to at least a couple sets. So we'll have to see. Applebug, definitely a very strong Juliet player, has been working on a couple other picks as Juliet tends to get banned against them. So we'll have to see how, I guess, this plays out as we're going to be loading into the match here soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a good one. And, I think this roster for Idaho Potato Farmers is interesting because a lot of these players have kind of been around for a while, even in the competitive scene, few tournament appearances here or there, but haven't really locked a roster, at least as of incredibly lately. So it's nice to see this group of 3 play together, and we'll see if they're able to pull off victory. Meanwhile, of course, Snackin' and Smackin' will also be looking to do the same. Again, folks, best of 3 here. And we'll be starting with game 1 on IME's app. We'll see what the striker select looks like as our bans come through. But maybe a little more KO heavy here as well, Borg. One of our larger KO maps with that ring in the middle.
Yeah, I think I'm expecting a Rasmus ban on the side of the Idaho Potato Farmers, as I don't think they actually have a Rasmus player. Oh, okay, so an Amy ban. And then maybe Applebug will be playing the Rasmus. We'll see. Okay, Bulby hovering the Rasmus. Applebug probably going to be playing another brawler here. The Asher coming in. The classic Juliet player's secondary character. So not surprised here. Kavista, not necessarily an Atlas one trick, but definitely an Atlas specialist, we'll say, coming in here, getting their pick. And one thing that I've definitely noticed is a lot of the one-trick players out there in solo queue have been teaming with other one-trick players so that at least one of them gets banned, but also at the same time, one of them gets their pick, right? So can't fully deny everything. It's not too bad of a strategy coming through, as we see the Dubu actually on the other side going to be the difference here, and the Vice. So it will be a Rasmus forward with a Vice comparatively to an Asher Rasmus. A little bit more damage on the side of the Snackin' and Smackin' team out here, but with that, with that Atlas going to be probably saving a lot more of these KOs, going to be hopefully keeping the health bars up as we're loading into the game. Specialized training start on both sides, so the Rasmuses are going to be getting a lot of action this game.
We are going fishing once again on IME's app, as that death touch will likely be an important factor. And Borg, other thing here, you were talking about maybe more damage on the side of Snackin' and Smackin'. We'll probably be looking for more of those KOs. And of course, not to say that there isn't the potential for any KOs, but it feels like the game plan here for Idaho Potato Farmers is all going to be about procuring Asher the Rock. Can they get this core in front of the Asher to send it back to the net?
Yeah, and that's not to say that Asher can't KO here, as that would have just straight up killed, but it ended up killing anyway as Bulby found the hook off of the damage from Applebug here. But really, a lot more damage on the side of the Vice. However, Asher doing a lot of damage in knockback herself, able to find these KOs. So definitely look out for that as the Asher ran pummelers as well here. Looking a little low here, as like I said before, the damage going to be huge here. But Bulby finding another hook. And it's just, I feel like this is going to be happening all game. And Snackin' and Smackin' need to find some way to kind of get out of this death loop.
Here it comes again. We're in overtime. Tomotako on the back lines, holding it down for now with the Summer Assault, and does have that energy burst available as well. But Bulby will use the death touch once again, pulling a member in. Kavista with the core flip on the front side, and now the patch splitter comes out, taking Tomotako out of the goal box nearly completely. And Applebug still looking for the shot, but the Summer Assault comes through. Tomotako with no stagger to their name, able to find the saves. Now finally gets KO'd with the arc beam, and there's the dash forward from Applebug. Finally it'll find the net.
Yes, sir, just unable to use their core flip there in time. Getting hit stunned by that Asher, no way to save that after that point. So very well played from the Idaho Potato Farmers. I mean, finding so many more of these KOs here than Snackin' and Smackin'. Aerial Snack needs to start getting to work. They are leveled down and are, I mean, at this point, 4 KOs down from the Rasmus, hunting their great ult from Sir, getting the barrier and saving their life here, and able to get the goal with that core flip too. Well played there from Sir.
Huge plays from Sir there on the top side of the map, and meanwhile, we almost saw that KO come through for Aerial Snack onto Bulby, but at the very least, pulling that Rasmus out of the way, and while the Death Touch might not have found the KO, it at least got Bulby out of position, preventing clear angles from coming through down to that bottom side of the pitch. But now, goal barriers will immediately fall on both sides. Tomotaco, Summer Assaults once again, preventing Opabug from going forward. But the Death Touch connects once again. Oh, Tofu Fortress does not hold this time, as Opabug will slip it right by.
Yeah, Opabug standing on the bottom side there with the core, so the Tofu Fortress actually hitting Opabug and displacing it on the launch, I guess, for that ability, which means that not a, impenetrable wall. Cue the, I guess, the copy pasta there for the Tofu Fortress, but unable to get a full wall there, and Opabug, great play, able to score there, and Bulby again with another K. I think that's 6 at this point, if I'm counting correctly here, but, barrier going down for Kavissa, going down for Tomotaco as well. Kavissa definitely playing a little bit more aggressive on this Atlas so far, losing a couple of these barriers, but I don't think it's going to matter as Appa just puts another one in.
Puts it away to the top corner. Beautifully played, zoning the rest of the members out of that goal box. And now it's priority here for Potato Farmers on this first carousel. And Built Different is the first awakening that'll likely get taken here from Bulby. We talked about a little bit in the last series, size so important on the Rasmus, but that leaves a couple of these other things open as we head on to the later stages. It will be Tomotaco picking up the Timeless Creator.
Yeah, Timeless Creator is huge on Dubu, especially if you can get the core forward, blocking off an entire side of Amy's app with that Timeless Creator for basically like 4 or 5 seconds. Going to be very, very huge. Another thing that is probably going to be huge here, hopefully, is Aerial Snack getting that prize fighter, getting a little bit more out of the hook here, if they can get a KO. Still yet to find one here into this game, as actually that hook finding their own barrier there. Kavista losing one on their own as well here, as Appa just wins the strike war again. These goals are just so quick. That was 11 seconds.
I mean, look, when the core just happens to hit the goal barrier, and it goes around the world in the process, so much you got to think about once again, and Tomotaco gets a little overwhelmed there, can't find the strike war victory when it matters most. But not a lot of pressure has been built up the other way. Aerial Snack will find a KO there, gets a prize fighter stack for it, and now Supernova out here from Sir. Tofu Fortress blocks off one side of the map, and Tomotaco was roaming up to the opposite as well, having quite the impact here on the Dubu, and will convert into a goal barrier, but the possession goes back the other way. And now the KO comes through as Opabug is able to find that one. Path Splitter pulled back from Bulby a little bit as well. And now it's just a 1v1 here, looking for the shot. Bulby sends it a little bit too high, and Sir is able to find the clear. Now the Expanse comes out, keeps the pressure alive. There's the core flip, there's the KO. And it finally converts for the Idaho Potato Farmers.
And this is just absolute destruction. Aerial Snack, finding a KO early, which allowing the Dubu to get that Tofu Fortress and allowing them to play so aggressive, getting that barrier. But as soon as the Rasmus respawned on the side of Idaho Potato Farmers, it just started taking control of the game again. It just seems like with the barrier already down, this is just almost a steamroll at this point.
Looking like that could be the case, but the Tofu Fortress has something to say about it. Now the Supernova comes out and finds a KO on the Opabug. Aerial Snack looks to pull it in with the Death Touch, but will not connect. Bulby with the size increased Whiplash, putting in the effort. Now Kavista roams forward on that core flip. Opabug back online. Looking forward, there's the Path Splitter cutting off the top side of the map. Law comes out of Tomotaco, but again, it's right back in front of the net. Bulby looking to keep the pressure. Sent back over to Opabug. The dodge comes out of Aerial Snack just to stay alive, and now Bulby will send it right around with the Whiplash. It's a 3-0 set for the Idaho Potato Farmers.
Yeah, definitely some signs of life there for Snackin' and Smackin'. Getting a hook, getting a couple plays, getting a couple barriers, but at the end of the day, just too much overwhelming force here for the Idaho Potato Farmers, getting rewarded. Another size training onto Asher. And one thing to note, actually not taking the size training does not want to be a bigger target for these Rasmus hooks potentially, and taking away the prime time from the Vice. The Vice going to be taking that big fish away. Don't want double-sized trainings on Erasmus. That would just be game losing as Twin Drive goes their way anyway. I guess Aerial Snack here getting that heavy impact, going to help with the damage a lot more, especially with the prize fighter and with that specialized training. Going to be killing from a little bit further away, but I digress. Going to be a mountain to climb here, as we've said so many times, I guess, for the Snackin' and Smackin'.
That'll immediately find a goal barrier. Avabug will get KO'd by the Tofu Fortress, though. Tomotaco strolls forward on the Dubu just a bit more. Power Chord gets Bulby down to about half stagger. And now Kavista actually able to send it away. Thunderstruck comes out here. Now finally, Sir warps in and will find the goal barrier in the process. Aerosnack forward. Power Chord doesn't connect. Doesn't send it towards the goal. With that Chain Lightning. Comes out again. And will get a little bit of extra stagger on a Bulby. But again, seems like the possession falters there. Pressure melts away. This possession's picked back up, and now Death Touch pulls Aerial Snack in. Bulby finds yet another here, and Alphabug collects the core for the bottom corner. Tomotaco's still there. Sir tries to send it away, poking that. And once again, another KO for Tomotaco with the Tofu Fortress. I mean, hey, look, maybe give this Dubu the prize fight or something almost.
Yeah, the Tofu Fortress just finding 2 KOs already as Sir and Aerosnake trying to find this goal. Great Death Touch to come back up, and great saves from Kavista. Just staying in the right place at the right time. Bulby unable to find a KO with that Death Touch, making it a little bit scary. They're actually hitting the core. Kavista able to keep it stabilized for now. And I mean, Snackin' and Smackin' looking like they have so much more life now coming into this third set. Aerial Snack actually kind of, I guess, the head of the team. Snackin' and Smackin', as you can see, finding that pendulum swing into the top corner. Well played. I mean, we might be seeing a game here, hopefully.
Let's hope, but for starters, Aerosnack's going to need to find a KO with 0 prize fighter stacks before coming in. And now Tomotaco gets pulled in by Bulby's Death Touch. Oppapug is there in position, and there's nothing to shove the core away. A 11-second goal to equalize the set board. So much about your life.
Yeah, I mean, Tomotaco walking a little bit too far up there, playing super aggressive, maybe feeling a little too confident after those 2 Tofu Fortress KOs and after the goal as well. Bulby, you know, definitely looking for that the whole time, as we can see they're fishing for another hook here and unable to find it, getting the barrier instead.
Barrier will fall. There's the Tofu Fortress, zoning Bulby away, and now the Power Chord will connect, sending Bulby off the map, and Aerial Snack will get KO'd by the Astral Projection. Resurrection comes through for Oppapug, looks for the core, but it gets cleared over to Sir. He's looking forward. Bulby on the respawn, comes in, immediately has an impact in that top corner. Looking for the Death Touch onto Sir here, and now Whiplash comes out. Possession kept for Snackin' and Smackin'. They're once again looking for it. There's the pendulum swing, skims right by the goal barrier, doesn't connect. Now Sir sends it back around with the Power Chord. But once again, they lose possession. Looking for it again as Kavista so fast on the 10 stacks with the Orb Dancer, and now we'll send it over to Oppapug, who finds the slight redirection to send it to the bottom corner of the net, and it is game point for the Idaho Potato Farmers.
Yeah, I mean, Snackin' and Smackin' finding that KO onto Bulby, looking so good, but then the Astral Projection from Kavista, able to take out Aerial Snack, so unfortunate. Feels like they're getting chances now, but then just getting almost screwed over a little bit on these random KOs off of their positioning. So definitely got to tighten up their positioning a little more, got to make sure they're using those evades, or else they're going to have no chance of coming back in this series.
Oppapug started to get a little low on stagger, but now it's starting to regen back up. Thunderstruck comes out, chips down Bulby, and now Sir is still in the top corner, sends it right back. Aerial Snack joins, and it leaves the bottom side of the pitch open. Tomotaco tries to join, but it's just too late, and now we'll lose the goal barrier for the process, but Bulby gets taken off the pitch. Power play opportunity. Aerial Snack forward, can't find the connections. Kavista is back, but there's the expanse. It'll find unfortunate bounces in that corner. Goal gates will open, and now there it is. Here's the increased speed from the Atlas, providing Kavista with a little bit of extra insurance. And he'll send it back down to the bottom side. Death Touch. Aerial Snack tries to pull it back, but Tomotaco's log is there. Now, core flip. There it is. Finds the bounce. But Bulby's back in time. Now back up to the top side. It doesn't quite find the bounce they wanted, but the Power Chord connects for the KO. It's Snackin' and Smackin' sends us to a 5th goal.
And Aerial Snack just seems like waking up here, finding these KOs, finding all this great positioning, getting that last goal as well, KOing Kavista. And seems like, I mean, Snackin' and Smackin's kind of online now. Sir is just feeding Aerial Snack over and over again, finding these KOs. But, oh, as I say, that Applebug finding the amazing pass splitter, finding that Asher kill as well, and Bulby getting another kill. This might be over, K-Bot.
Game point here. It's looking for the net unless Sir can keep it out. Can't find the clear angle and actually able to send it away. There's the power cord. Tomotaco back online. There's the core flip and it sends it away. Almost finds the goal barrier, but an impressive hold there keeps the game alive for the moment. There's the Tofu Fortress. Finds the goal barrier. Sir's forward again, but Applebug finds yet another KO. There's the double coming through once again, and it's another double power play. Applebug on the path. There's the stuns from the path splitter once more on the Tomotaco. And Idaho Potato Farmers might have needed 2 double KOs to get the point. They will get it nonetheless and secure game 1.
And heroics from Sir, just finding that goal barrier, finding so much pressure off of that play. Just such a good play, winning those 2 strike cores and clearing it away so critically, but unable to really make a difference as the pressure from the Idaho Potato Farmers is just surmounting, just unable to really catch a break. And this is a best of 3, as we said before, and as we said last game too, so it's not over for them yet. But as we look at the stats here, 10 KOs from Bulby compared to 3 from Aerial Snack. They definitely need to wake up a little bit sooner here, and I think after that game they definitely are. So hopefully they can help bring it back and give us a whole series, but gonna be a tough task here for Snackin' and Smackin'.
Borgerman, you talk about waking up. For the record, I mean, it is Snackin' and Smackin' that have been kind of sitting, waiting in the loser's side for probably close to about an hour since the last time they played the final round of Swiss, if not even longer than that. So they, of course, have to get back in the flow of things. I imagine they've probably been playing the game at least a little bit. But once again, those tournament nerves are just a completely different beast when you talk about actually starting to sit down for this. And we'll see if they're able to pull it together. But look, we kind of talked about it there in addition. We really needed to see more damage, more KO combinations come out of Snackin' and Smackin', especially earlier on, because otherwise that Asher from Applebug was just going to sit in the goal box and be a menace, and a menace he was. 7 goals, 2 assists comes through for Appa there forward, and that was kind of what secured it, including I guess extra insurance once again from Bulby, getting so many death touch and pulls with those KOs. So we'll see what the adjustments are made as we head into this game too.
Yeah, gonna need some adjustments as well. You know, might not have been the best idea to ditto the Rasmus with specialized training start, especially since, you know, you've been sitting waiting to play. Hands might be a little cold, you know, maybe they played some normal games, but I mean, Idaho Potato Farmer is just coming off of a whole series against Quest Esports, which would be a great warm-up for them as well coming into this game. And as we can see, I mean, Bulby looks like very warmed up as they get in the 10 KOs. And another thing to note is that Applebug on that Asher actually doing the most damage in the game with nearly 21,000. So well played from them. We're getting into this next game here, and it is going to be on a night market, actually. So I'm expecting to possibly see a Juliet ban here as we, you know, no point to change it up, I guess, for Aerial Snackin' crew, Snackin' and Smackin'. I don't know, I'm struggling to say their name so much, but either way, I don't expect the bans to be switched up here, as we're seeing an Amy ban hover as well.
Both of these teams, Snackin' and Smackin' and Idaho Potato, like, have the rhyming, have the alliteration, like, try saying that
awful.
10 times fast.
It's just awful.
Good luck. It's not going to happen. Bans come through. They are Juliet and Amy once again taken off of the pitch, and we'll see what gets locked in here. Appa still hovers over the Asher, and indeed will lock it in. But Bulby now over to the Juno, and we see a Finny on the other side of the pitch. Finny midfield this time, though, boy.
Yeah, Finny forward, definitely very strong. I think incredibly strong on Night Market and on Demon Deus. Definitely the 2 maps I'm looking forward to seeing it on the most. That ult is just so incredibly impressive if you can put it on the enemy goal barriers, just dragging it back into them over and over again. So we'll have to see if they can actually, you know, use that combo effectively, as Aerosnack going to be on the Zentaro, possibly going to be getting a lot of damage here too, as Applebug already looking incredibly low.
Stacks on stacks, rapid fire were the starter awakenings here. 5 stacks on stacks come through, which means that KOs will be that much more punishing. And if this combination here of Sir and Aerial Snack can find some of those KOs with the increased damage, thanks to the Finny secondary, perhaps it could go their way, but now Tomotako gets zoned away. Tries to take that Summer Assault up to the top corner, but gets punished with Appelbug getting back into the goal box.
Yeah, I guess wanted to try to get it around the blobs that were coming down from Bulby, but missing that Summer Assault just barely and allowing Appelbug to get that goal. Appelbug getting another barrier as well here. The Slick Kick's actually going to be the gear choice for the Asher. Definitely very strong if you can get your hands on the core, which Appelbug will be getting their hands on the core over and over again with that Juno midfield going to be helping, I guess, procure the rock, as they say. And double Siphoning Wand actually from the side of Snackin' and Smackin', but it's not even going to matter at this point. No time to stack up damage as Appelbug is just core flipping into the net already. 2-0 at this point for the Idaho Potato Farmers.
2-0 and already 100 stacks for Appelbug for those pancakes. Cruising in comparison to the rest of everyone else, especially with those Slick Kicks, and there it is coming through again, right up to the top corner before anyone can react. And the Idaho Potato Farmers will take set 1.
Yeah, that was probably a less than 40-second, I guess, set 1 here. It looks like Idaho Potato Farmers want to, I guess, finish up today on a strong note, finishing this losers bracket first round run. Built different, going to be going to the Asher, going to be incredibly useful, especially with the Slick Kicks, keeping, you know, all that core on top of them and able to, I guess, keep dribbling with that increased size. Peak performance for the Dubu. We're going to start orbing up here for Kavista. Going to be exceptional if they can get their hands on an orb replicator later on in the game. Chrono Boost going to help with the debuff on the Finny, and then perfect form on Zentaro, going to be having a lot more cooldowns. So, I mean, definitely getting a good draft, I think, Snackin' and Smackin'. Getting a lot of damage here, getting a lot of cooldowns with their trainings, but they just have to figure out a way to shut down Appelbug, or else this game is just going to be a wash.
Feels like we almost need to see a lot of that damage get focused on Appelbug, and there it is. The misdirection from Sir will find the KO, opening this window of opportunity now. Misdirection comes through again, does not connect on the Bulby. Now fighting with the Night Market bumpers there. Aerial Snack tries to send it towards that last goal barrier, but Kavista is still there. Dodge comes out of Sir, preventing the KO, and now there is the debuff with that misdirection onto Appelbug, but with the Atlas ultimate too, gets healed right back up to full, and now will be looking to create that larger presence on the red side of the pitch. Back and forth here. Bulby in position with the core flip. Misdirection does not quite connect, and Appelbug looking to try to collect the core. There it is. Core flip will find the barrier from Bulby, and now Appelbug once again low. Borg, I think they might have heard me. Is now Appelbug low on stagger once again. Misdirection looks for the, tries to pull it back. Will not connect, and Bulby is low as well. There's the core flip, finds the other barrier. Tomotako doesn't find the core flip there either. Oni's Blade will collect it though. Sir looks to try to get it forward. Kavista, and now actually the misdirection, so punishing. Sending these players flying across the map, but there's the Blabo from Bulby, able to slip it right by to the bottom corner.
Yeah, long round there, finally. It seems like Snackin' and Smackin' with that KO on Appelbug early on definitely found their footing a little bit here. Has their stacks on stacks stacked up. Appelbug only at 66 right now as they were KO'd early on. And look how much damage is coming through. The Atlas going to be the only, I guess, savior for Aerial Snack, able to find both barriers here. And now the goal is open. Kavista does have that energy burst, though, able to possibly save it here as great use of it there. But Tomotako running forward, ice skates Dubu, let him fly. Finds the Tofu Fortress, running past it. I want more, gets that goal.
Hey, momentum boots still showing up here for Tomotako, and gets a little bit of extra speed with that peak performance. Decides, I'm going to join the fight. Might as well. It is able to be critical in stuffing that goal back, combined with both the Tofu Fortress and preventing more clear angles. Now Bulby, though, with the core flip, sends it down to the bottom side, still gets sent away. Appelbug just has not been having the same presence. He's been getting knocked around and bullied around a little bit, but as I say that, the arc beam will connect, finds the goal barrier. Now Aerial Snack rushes in, looking for it again. Bulby tries to send it back the other way, but there's the Oni's Blade, comes out. Now we're in the gravity well. Aerial Snack does have the energy burst, will use it there, but won't connect with the core. Tofu Fortress split things apart there a little, but Appelbug gets KO'd with another misdirection coming in from Sir, who has been on point in terms of target selection here. Finds yet another onto Bulby, who's low, on Stagger. The Atlas healing comes in just in the nick of time. Aerial Snack looks to deny it with a slice and dice and will get the job done. Borg, that's your student rated out of 10.
I mean, that play, 10 out of 10, did the job, right? How can you rate it lower? I actually taught him that specifically, making sure to layer your abilities on that Zentaro against an opponent who core flips in front of you, right? Finding that strike into that secondary, or excuse me, that primary into a following strike. Doesn't need the following strike. Kavista letting the core go a little early and then getting punished for it. So definitely well played. Snacking and Smacking just finding so many more chances now. Finding this damage. Sir setting up Aerial Snack for so much as Aerial Snack is doing so much with it. Look at Applebug finding that KO on Sir, and this is their chance to even this up 2-2.
Finally a KO in the power play. Tomotaco playing so well, sends it back and forth, but it'll finally connect with the other goal barrier. Applebug doesn't have the arc beam to deny the core flip, but now forward is the dupo of the somersault. Gravity Well tries to save it, and it will, just barely, but it goes right back around to Applebug, who puts it back, and it is set point to both sides in the second one.
And they use so much the core flip, right? The Dubu roll, the Finny ult. Just so much coming out here to try to stop Applebug, but Applebug at a sliver of HP able to stop it. So this is their chance, though, to kill the Applebug as Kavista, excuse me, the Atlas ult going to be saving Applebug, putting them back at full HP. Bulby has that core flip. Kavista having to use theirs to save that last goal barrier. Great save from Tomotaco from almost a disaster of losing both here, but so much offense, so much core control from the side of Idaho Potato Farmers. I'm looking scared here, K-Bot.
There it is, Applebug with the slick kicks, comes through, finds the rebound off of the post, and will send it right back under the feet of Tomotaco. You were right to be scared with the positioning of that Asherborg. And now we'll head on over to our next Awakenings carousel. Quick Strikes, Prize Fighter, Super Surge, Aerials, all online.
Yeah, this could be absolutely huge, especially if that extra special goes to the side of the Finny, the Super Surge goes to the side of the Zentaro, which we will see here. Yeah, definitely going to be looking a little scary for Kavista if they can't keep the core forward. Tomotaka, what will be choosing here? The Hot Shot, great choice, taking it away from the Juno. Going to be definitely a little bit scary if the Juno gets a hold of that. Also good on the Dubu, definitely, as the Log and the Summer Assault taking full advantage of the cooldown reduction from the Hot Shot. But man, it feels like Snackin' and Smackin' has all the tools right now. They have everything they need to win this game. They just have to execute, K-Bot.
Other thing here I will say for Bulby's Juno getting that 6-pick Aerials pickup. Look, that Juno dash suddenly just got a lot longer, right? Jumping and leaping over, putting that Blabo down, and potentially be looking for some more goal barriers. But now the KO comes through as Aerial Snack is taken off of the pitch. Sir is in position, though, to interrupt the play, and now the Gravity Well comes out. Doesn't quite catch the core. And now Applebug is right back there, shoving it towards that goal barrier. Somersault comes through. Now Tomotaco tries to slide up to the top side. Will beat Appa to the core. And now once again with the arc beam, it goes off the post and goes in. Tomotaco is trying to do everything to get this Asher out of here. And it doesn't work unless there's extra damage that is getting sent towards Applebug.
Yeah, nobody on the side of Snackin' and Smackin' can afford to go down here. Applebug finding these crucial random KOs off the side. Just a little bit of bad positioning here from the side of Snackin' and Smackin'. Needs to be a little bit more focused. Needs to be focused on getting this damage out as Applebug, I mean, can't just go on with how they're going on here. No more Atlas ult, no more energy for the Asher. So definitely going to be the chance to take this KO. Bulby finding the jump into the core flip, unable to get anything for it. Tomotaco doing everything but holding the barrier, sadly unable to get it at the end there. Too much pressure coming in as the Asher, just a little bit too much. The Tofu Fortress coming out, stopping it for now. But like I said, just so much pressure from the Juno, from the Asher, keeping this core forward. The slick kicks, the aerials, like you said, on the Juno, getting the perfect opportunity. And it just feels like it's a little bit too late now for the side of Snackin' and Smackin'.
Match point for the Idaho Potato Farmers as they look to advance to play tomorrow. They still won't have the opportunity to qualify with one more win. They'll need a few more lined up in order to do just that. But they're looking like a strong contender to do so as Applebug's in position once again. Very nice resurrection comes in here from Kavista, keeping Applebug on the front lines, and he'll find the strike through Tomotaco and Sir. It'll be the 3-0 for the final set for the Idaho Potato Farmers. The 3-0 in sets in both games. And they'll advance to play again tomorrow, knocking Snackin' and Smackin' to next week's qualifier.
Yeah, snacking and smacking, decent showing. Got a couple wins under their belt here. Got some experiences. I believe they are a new team. So, props to them for showing up. Props for them to at least keeping some of these sets close. And hopefully we'll see them back next weekend for Launchpad 2. And ideally, hopefully they stay together for, the upcoming Tier 2 scene if they can't qualify. Or even, if they do for this next Launchpad. So, not the last we're going to be seeing from them, hopefully. Kavista, Applebug, and Bulby, definitely not the last we're going to be seeing from them as they do move on to the next round we will see tomorrow. Not sure if we'll see them on stream necessarily tomorrow. Going to have to go through a couple wins here to get that right, I guess, to be back on screen. But well played from Applebug on that Asher especially. Just so much pressure coming through as we're seeing the highlights now. Just so much pressure from the Asher with those slick kicks and with that stack start. Getting that early built different as well in set 1 just made it pretty much just an unstoppable fortress with the Atlas ult 2 keeping them alive. It just kind of felt like a protect the Asher comp.
And, Borg, it did feel as though when the Asher was getting targeted by especially Sir on that Finny, when Applebug was getting KO'd or getting knocked around a little bit more, there were more openings for Snacked and Smackin', but at the end of the day, they couldn't quite find all of the openings necessary. Having to force like 2 members basically to always be looking towards the Asher is quite a lot to try to commit that direction. So couldn't quite find it at the end of the day, and they will be advancing in the losers bracket. It will be Idaho Potato Farmers taking that one. On the winner's side, I'll say, of course, we didn't go through all this earlier. It's PP Legends and versus Give Sony Emote. PP Legends, team that we saw in the North American Strikers League last season, going up against numbered ZZZ and Oldry, these beta players coming back to play. And Quest Esports will take on Bozo Bunch. Both of those matches will be qualification matches for liftoff in 2 weeks to decide which teams get the go-ahead to Tier 1 and which teams will fall down to Tier 2. Meanwhile, we're still waiting on a decent number of the losers rounds to finish up. Party Rockers will take the 2-0 over Osiris, and Oshino Coreflip will take the 2-0 over Pumpkin Patchers as well. So those teams will advance alongside the Idaho Potato Farmers. And now Powerhouse Defenders and Chikara. Powerhouse Defenders just has 1 game online, and for them, be looking to try to take the second one, knocking Chikara out of this tournament, getting retribution for the early round of Swiss that they lost and went down earlier today.
Yeah, definitely going to be keeping an eye on this bracket as just in Oshino Coreflip getting that 2-0 actually against Pumpkin Patchers. So I just saw that tick for me here on the bracket. And then Party Rocker as well getting that 2-0 against Osiris. So it'll be Oshino Coreflip versus versus Party Rocker. Or Party Rockers in the house tonight. It's actually the full thing. Got it. Those two will be facing off tomorrow in the loser side. And like you said earlier, Idaho Potato Farmers waiting on the Powerhouse Defenders versus Chikara game, to finish up here as the the winner of that will be facing the team that we just saw win here, the Idaho Potato Farmers. And in that north side, the PP Legends versus Give Sony Emote. I'm expecting, PP Legends, kind of a definitely recognizable team overall right now. Definitely, making top 8 on OSPL, making, qualifying for the first season of NASL. Definitely have a lot of strength in their roster. So I'm expecting them to possibly take that, but you can't sleep on the old beta players, right? Numbered ZZZ and Oldry. Only person I've really seen a lot play is ZZZ. Oldry I've seen recently starting to get back up, but still in, I believe, Omega again right now. So definitely still a good player. So hopefully they'll be able to give us a good show tomorrow as Quest Esports versus Bozo Bunch. Definitely looking forward to that game, seeing how well Bozo Bunch played against Chikara. Maybe they'll be able to take it to Quest Esports 5-0 right now in this bracket, in the Swiss, and going into the bracket 1-0 here with the 2-0 onto Idaho Potato Farmers that we just saw. So Quest Esports looking like the mountain to climb here for all these teams. And just letting you guys know, again, the winner of those will advance to liftoff from this tournament, and the losers will still have another chance in the losers side to, qualify as well. So lots of chances here, lots of time for these teams to, qualify for liftoff. And you guys definitely don't want to miss liftoff or the next Launchpad next week as well. Going to be absolute bangers. I Wish I had the dates in front of me so I can give you accurate information. Maybe K-Bot can do that.
It's just the
as-
next 2
let
weekends.
them know.
It's
Is
the
it
next
just
2
the next 2
weekends.
weekends? Okay, that's easy.
Just keep tuning in to Bestie and Slot for more Omega Strikers on Saturday and Sunday for the next lot of weeks, because we'll be going all the way to week 1 of the North American Strikers League, and then I'll be taking an off week for the Philadelphia land. I'll be right back to it. So there is plenty more action to come, but it all resumes tomorrow with the 8 teams remaining in Launchpad number 1, all vying for 5 slots on the line. We'll see which teams are able to come out and qualify for liftoff. They've probably got a decent bit of studying, VOD reviewing, and the like to do, preparing for those opponents tomorrow, as it's a very limited pool. And I'll be looking to try to do as much preparation as I can as well. But with that, I think that's going to do it for the day. Borg, any other closing remarks today?
Not too much. I mean, you'll see us tomorrow, definitely. Maybe not together, but separately. You will see both of us tomorrow casting, as tomorrow will be my last tournament casting until I come back around week 5 or so. I'll be back for NASL Season 2, so not the last time you'll see me. Don't fret, as I will be back, guys. And another thing, as you said, VOD reviewing, getting ready for tomorrow. I will be doing a coaching stream, actually, tonight, somewhere around 8 to 9 EST. I don't really know when. I gotta eat dinner. I gotta, kind of chill out a bit, rest my voice for a second, as I got a nice 3 to 4 hours of that, if anyone is interested. So definitely tune in there at Jord_OS. Not Borg, but Jord_OS. Borg_OS is not real. It's not a factual account. Well, it is a real account. It's my alt account. But regardless, you can catch me there if you want to see more of me, and we'll see you tomorrow. What about you, K-Bot?
I got nothing. Tune in. Action starts at 3 p.m. Eastern for our top 8 of liftoff number 1, as everyone looks to qualify for those final few slots. And we will see you all then. So take care, everyone. Have a good one. And we will catch you right back here tomorrow for more Best of 3 Omega Strikers action.